Is Sunday football. Of course, we've got the Geelong Cats taking on Port Adelaide here down at GMHBA Stadium. Should be a fantastic day. It's beautiful weather. It's about 16 degrees. The sun is shining. There is plenty of people in the stadium today. It's a full house and the atmosphere is electric. Of course, the Geelong supporters out in their droves today, looking for a big game there from the Geelong Cats. Of course, the last time Ken Hinkley will be travelling down there as coach for the Port Adelaide Power. Let's have a look at the ins and outs. For the Cats, it's unchanged. For Port Adelaide coming in, Jack Wilcock, Whitlock, Manny Liddy and Will Lorenz going out. Miles Bergman, Jack Lucases and Logan Evans. Jack Whitlock is the new player, and the milestone game is his debut game, Jack Whitlock. So there we go. There are your teams for today. We're going to get back down to the action just to show you the AFL ladder at the moment. Geelong Cats sitting there in fourth. If they win this, they'll remain in fourth on 56 points, a game clear, of course, and with a couple of soft games coming up, expect them to maybe even climb the ladder. That'll definitely cement themselves, WA footy kid. That'll cement the Cats in the top four. Tell you what, yeah, got a good run home. Looks like they could be hard to beat, but we're not too far away from the start here. We are just moments away from the start of the game. So what we're gonna do, we are gonna take you down to the action of the footy. So enjoy WA footy. Who are you going for? I'll put the who do you think will win up in just a moment. Just give me a moment. All right, let's head down to the action. They'll take us into the bounce of the ball. You're going for the Cats here? I think the Cats too. I think they'll win pretty comfortably today.
Far off it as well. So some of the big guns of the competition in the midfield, and also as forwards, Jeremy Cameron with 69 goals for the season, and Mitch Georgiades on the verge of breaking 50 as well. It sets up beautifully.
Yeah, it does. It's a contest. We're going to see good skills here this afternoon, Dwayne. The sun's shining. The ground is firm with enough softness in it that it's not going to really hurt you if you get decked, if you know what I mean, if you hit hard. So it's a perfect surface. I don't know what they call that in the horse racing parlance.
You ran your shoes over a Dermot.
Yeah, but it's going to be great for goal kickers especially. There's not a lot of wind out there. It's pretty breathless, Bradley, and I'm expecting Jeremy to try and fill his boots as much as possible.
Do you think they'll go head-to-head in the midfield or try and put some tags on?
I think what Mullen and his role when they played Port Adelaide earlier in the year on Butters was quite positive. So coaches can genuinely go back to that. So they may look at that again from a coaching perspective, and they need to stop what Butters does too, because he can certainly set them alight and hit the scoreboard as well as what Bailey Smith can do for the Cats. So Drew's probably the one who gets that role going back the other way.
It's the real thing, but it is a dress rehearsal for someone like Shane Mullins. Like, you don't want him 4 weeks of footy going into the finals without a job each week. You want to sharpen him on the different styles of players that he is going to have to take down in September. So he has to have jobs week in, week out. And you would think size, shape, capabilities, speed, power. Yeah, Zach Butters is his man.
So the two captains about to get together for the toss of the coin. Zach Butters captaining Port Adelaide in the absence of Connor Rozee. He's got a broken hand, but it was given to us as illness. And Patrick Dangerfield, fresh from a big victory and a souvlaki last week.
There is a bit of illness going through Port Adelaide. Just call it the souvlaki. And some of their boys have not even played in their VFL team over the weekend. So there is a few omissions because of the illness.
Yeah. Darcy Gardner was laid out here a few weeks ago with illness just before the game.
So you're suggesting the same
hotel?
I'm
just trying to say maybe they should have a good long look at how they run their diet pre-game. Conditions are magnificent, though. It is fantastic to be here. As Dermot said, the surface is pristine and the crowd is pretty good as well. They've been packing them in here at GMHBA Stadium.
Now, The one thing I always have noticed about the Cat supporters, they love a fresh kill. They love a victim. Front up and we'll do it to you. And they love to see a sound beating. No, they're loyal. They turn up.
They do. Jezza Cameron going forward, of course, leading the column. Mental dangers down there as well. Shannon Neal and Mark Blitzarb. So
straight to him, Bradley.
Got some representation at ground level. And there's Mullen on Butters in the middle of the ground as well. Ollie Wines is standing next to Bailey Smith for this opening bounce, but Drew will likely get the job on him or Holmes this afternoon for Port Adelaide.
And the debutant Jack Whitlock is out there in his first ever AFL game, and we'll see what he can do in terms of trying to stop this potent forward line for the Cats. So the recall to start us. Strange start to the game. Sweet rips it out of the air and we're underway. Guthrie can't take the mark. Smith, first touch of maybe 40-odd. Gets it to half forward. Jones slaps it. Farrell coming off a pretty good game in the showdown last week.
Jones on Cameron.
Finds McEntee.
That is an interesting matchup.
Georgiades the man. Number one in the comp for marks on the lead this year. Can't get it.
So Jeremy Cameron's smart. So he's got Jones on him as his direct opponent. So he's going to just trail him in. He's got the speed, yes, to go with Cameron. Does he have the ability to stop that nous and craft that Cameron displays?
Stanley and Sweet. Shorty's throw in, both rucks maybe a bit too far back. Holmes can knock this through for a defensive behind if he wants to. Might get it through, and now it does get through.
When that ball came in, you saw Mitch Georgiades get on the right-hand shoulder of De Koning, and he moved him fairly comfortably under the footy, legally. Wait on this kick in. That's going over. Well, and he moved him comfortably under the footy. He just misjudged the depth of the ball. And that can happen in the first kick you see for the day or the early moments of the game. There's Jones on Jeremy, as you call it. They're more worried about Jeremy's running capability.
That's right. He's just not going to leave his side wherever Jeremy positions himself this afternoon.
So I'm looking at Mitch Georgiades. If he can get isolation, I think he might be a little bit too clever one-on-one.
Drew got a kick away, but straight toward the boundary in a manner.
You sort of get the sense at some
McEntee.
point today that Jeremy Cameron will flow back to be the last player. Take Jones as deep as he
Close to goal.
possibly can.
Yeah, because he's still capable overhead.
That's
too,
right.
Isn't he? He's going to outsize him by a good 10 centimetres in reach.
Stanley with the palm down to Ollie Wines. Travis Spoke back to essentially his old hometown. Torquay boy back home. Speaking of home, Holmes off and running with a 1-2 with Smith. Who does he want here? He's got Stengel out wide. Dangerfield jumped in. It was a 2-on-2. Stengel got it in the end. Gave it to Holmes. All part of the grand plan. The mobile Holmes with the opener.
Fantastic run and try from Max Holmes, and that's what you expect from the star midfielder for the Cats. And Stengel and Dangerfield involved in the contest down the line. I think it was Sin who slipped over twice when trying to first defend. You see the slip there. So Stengel should have taken an uncontested mark if Danger didn't go back, and then slipped again. Stengel keeps his feet. Handball receive. Holmes follows up. Pretty ordinary chase from the power on that occasion to really close this one down.
He can make you look like you're chasing in ordinary fashion.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Holmes, he covers the ground beautifully.
Love the fact that he's picked Springsteen's Born to Run as well as his goal celebration song. Max Holmes, he certainly was born to run, given he's the son of a dual Olympian, Lee Naylor. So from the ball up, crunch.
Solid.
Smith, crunch. Butters, good sidestep. Little poke pass is good. McEntee, front on contact maybe. Front on contact, yes. Just pops it inside. 50 by about a metre to Sweet. And this is within his repertoire. He's been kicking some long goals.
Interesting to see that very first bounce. And I think it was John Holworth, the umpire, recalled it. He threw it up, and Sweetie was able to jump knee, absorb contact, and take the ball in one go. That shows you the different world ruck work will be once we lose the bounce. And I think we're losing the bounce at some stage.
Got 4 goals this year. Kicked one in the showdown last week. Has he got the distance? Has he got the accuracy? Gotta wait and see here. The best in the business, David Roden on the spot. Hit the post. Dempsey, Holmes. Inside. Had a tough for Lawson Humphries, but he's okay. Came on in the third quarter last week against North Melbourne to replace Patrick Dangerfield. Looks like he'll get a full game.
That's a great run
today
by Bailey Smith. That's off Ollie Wines. So he identifies some space and he'll be able to break away with his speed from Wines.
Manner. Around the boundary. Dangerfield bumped by Alir in the process of trying to get back to the ball.
And you spot on, Greg, just a couple of those matchups. So we spoke about Willem Drew in the pre-game. He has gone to Holmes. And Mullen, like he did earlier this year in round 10, has gone to Butters. He had 20 disposals in that game earlier this year, Butters. The second lowest of the year.
And a good call. Nick Dalcetto, 322-game star on the boundary for a sweep to Drew, to Richards. A little too slick for Butters that time. It's to lay a tackle on Mullen. Travis Boak in game 384. Picked 5 back in 2006. Torquay boy, had plenty of family and friends in the house. Nice grab by Lawson Humphries. Wide ball. Blitzar's got there. Couldn't complete it. Close to Stewart. Little handball back to go forward. Neil in the spot here. Engaged his man. Zerk Thatcher. Close. Lends a hand. Manner told it wasn't required. And Lawson Humphries, Butters, crushed it, got it away from him. Smith, Humphries, floater, Alir, best intercept mark in Port Adelaide's team, bumped off the kick, Manner a little fumble, crowd on a ball, umpire let it roll, wasn't the required. Boak, Manner, untidy, bizarre, scrambled away by Jones, and it'll be coming back, you'd think. It's on the foot. Henry, O'Sullivan, genuine contender to win the Rising Star this year. Connor O'Sullivan to De Koning. Humphries, well worked. So Connor drifts forward, takes the mark just inside 50 and gets a chance to kick his second goal of the year. Not something he gets down and does that often. Game 142. For one of their Irishmen, 10 goals, 12 for his career. Post. A couple already. Ollie there. Strange start to this one. In magnificent conditions here at GMHBA Stadium. Farrell. Spears it wide. Lorenzo or O'Leary take either. Got neither. Guthrie split the middle. Blitzar's. The original unicorn. Only 6 Cats have played 300 games. This is game 290 for Mark Blitzar's. And he struts. Drifter across the face, and Dempsey's almost marked that. I think Neil, as he attempted to spoil, knocked it out of his own man's hands.
He did. Neil put the fist in there. Dempsey had a beautiful jump at it.
Wasn't it a tremendous lead? No, he never controlled it. I thought it was almost worth the whistle going and suggesting the grab, but not quite.
Williams back into the lineup for Port Adelaide with Rosie the laid out. He's playing in defence, even though he's been playing as a forward in the SANFL. He kicked 7 goals in the SANFL a couple of weeks ago, Dylan Williams, but when they bring him back in to the AFL team, he plays back. So you have to kick an AFL goal. Drew lays the tackle. Stanley and Sweet. Atkins went and got it just before Wines thought he was going to get it. Close, a little knock on, didn't quite work. Burgoyne, Drew, Farrell to Liddy. Floated out wide. Took a spin back. One of his good leg, if you like. In that scramble, Guthrie wrapped up. Liddy, of course, the man known as the leg sleeve guy, buys them in bulk from Temu, 3 for $40 to protect that leg scar. And he got in the sandful when a sprig ripped his leg open. Tackle's laid and the ball stays in the area.
And as it settles down the quarter, so Drew looks like he's now made his way over to Brian Myers. And we know how dangerous Brian Myers is with his ability to use the ball.
The tackle laid by Drew on Atkins, going nowhere. Atkins himself, 8 tackles last week, the number 1 tackler in the AFL this season with 181. It's Daylight really second behind him. He's continued that form all year again. Smith got there. Wobbles it inside 50. The chaos ball might work. Dangerfield goes and gets it. Found some room. Spins and goals. Danger at his most dangerous.
It's a pretty good goal, isn't it? Under some real heat. But most of the heat is his creation in terms of pace to win the front position. And that pace on means that he's under some duress. Not so Everin Paul here. I mean, it's a scatter ball that is a 50-50, but that is almost a good thing as a forward because you get a chance at it. That's a pretty good snap.
Just how quickly he executes. That is so good from danger, just to take possession clean at full tilt and then be able to turn and snap the way that he did, steady himself after a tiny stumble. Impressive goal.
Subbed out last week. So he's got to sit the last quarter or the majority of it out. Stanley lasts that long as well. He's got 60 on that. Aaliyah puts it to grass.
Second
of his own mess. Myers stands under it, held his ground.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of penetration on the kick.
One of the best kicks in the comp. Puts it on the chest of Atkins. I'm not sure that was the intended target, but give him the benefit of the doubt.
Jeremy Cameron, he was on the lead, and as you can imagine, he just changed his angle, Jeremy Cameron, and Myers had identified that, but didn't kick it as well as he would have liked, but it's fallen into the arms of his teammate.
Myers is one of a few players who can change the direction of the kick after the ball drop.
Trying to get to Cameron.
Yeah, there he is, Jezza. He's on 69 goals for the season. He could be the first for quite a while to crack the 100 this year, including finals. Kicked 64-41 last year, so already gone past last year, but his best ever 76 in a season. Holmes in Dempsey's direction. He's a hard man to beat in the air.
Oh,
he did pretty well, really.
Gee, he went the mark.
Yeah.
Was a surprise to everyone. Ollie Dempsey included, maybe. Lord knocks the ball to the boundary line. Ollie Lord, the grandson of Geelong's 62 Brownlow medalist Alistair. The Lord twins, Stewart and Alistair, two of the all-time greats of Geelong.
Great work by Lord to halve that contest. He was outnumbered 2-1. Did well for Port Adelaide just to get this throw in.
There's that Jones-Cameron matchup. Wines was held before he got it.
Lockie Jones has done a good job to this point. He's given away 10 centimetres, but he's really physical with Jez off the ball, not allowing to move into the play.
That was cut off well. So Myers might go back to O'Connor.
Interesting too. Bailey Smith actually pointed up to the, or smothered off, was it? No, it's just a snick. Pointed up to the screen and said, "Have a look at that."
It's happened a couple of times.
Yeah, but
last night.
Yeah, but it must be only when you're in goal kicking distance do you get 50 for that.
Well, it depends. Every umpire's a little different, Derm. We've noticed that. Depends on.
Should be the same rule though.
Well, I would have thought so.
Well, when we saw dissent brought in, there was different levels of it.
Yeah, but as soon as they that's the trigger now. You tell the umpire, look at the replay. That's the trigger. They just go bang 50.
Or down
Might
to
have seen it.
Smith. You'd hope so. Wide ball. Burgoyne tried to slip out of that Stengel tackle and did okay. Wines gets himself a chance here. Burn-Jones gave it up. Berry on the run, and he's got it. Joe Berry with a ripper. Their pick 15 from last year. That was superb.
That was sharp. That's what that was from Port Adelaide. Sharp hands in the contest when
What's the
required.
Burn-Jones? Yeah, the Burn-Jones hands. He
strong.
he had to do a 180 spin and release.
So chaos ball here. Ollie Wine smart through the gap. And there it is. That's the handball you're talking about.
Yeah.
He knew exactly where his teammate was. Voice must have been strong at ground level for that to occur. So well done. And hits it nice.
He's got a nice action, hasn't he? A beautiful kicking action. Young man, a little bit like the bloke who's got the number up from him, Kane Farrell, Joe Berry. Similar kicking actions. Have a look from behind here how he strikes it. Yeah, well balanced.
He's actually from country Victoria as well, Wangaratta. He's one of 10 country Victorians on Port Adelaide's list of 44. So it's not by accident. They've had a look at recruiting a lot of country Victorians in recent times. He'll be one of those with a few family and friends in the house, given there's quite a few country Victorians in this 23 as well. Stewart, the blitz half. Hunted down, but got the kick away. Close man handled out of it. Liddy. Little fumble from Sin. Pardon the pun. Close. Stengel. Normally gets those. Missed a few weeks last month for family reasons, Tyson Stengel, so working his way back into some AFL form and fitness.
Yeah, Tom Stewart there on screen. Just read the eyes of the heads down Port Adelaide player and just read the handball coming, and then he came forward to intercept.
Both teams with pressure over 210, 215 for Port Adelaide, 225 for the Cats early in this game. So trying to capitalise on those turnovers with pressure.
Oak couldn't quite handle it in the congestion. Still in there. It's a AFL new wave umpire alternative handball. They tend to allow the flick more than ever these days, which is, as long as you touch it with your fist, it's a handball. Ken Hinkley, part of his farewell tour. Every good farewell tour has to have a hometown visit, and Kenny is back in his old hometown. Camperdown Ken, 121 games for Geelong, one of best and fairest here. Two-time All-Australian as well. Me got there, wrapped up. Liddy told it wasn't required to Travis Boak. Humphries. So Dempsey's running out of full forward, and in the end, it's Jones.
He started well. He's got a big challenge this afternoon, and Jeremy Cameron will be thinking, well, I'm going to be able to work off Jones, but at the moment, Dale, you picked it up. He's physical, and that was a big win one-on-one.
Keeps it low. Georgiades came up to lend a hand. That looked a little high on Butters. Then he's
slammed a bit there.
By Stewart. How hard did his head hit it? He's got a really hard head, Zach Butters, so for Tom Stewart's benefit, it's going to help. Burgoyne.
He's the kind of kid too, he won't show his head, because even if he is, he does not want to go off. He's such a competitor.
There is some that still like that term. They won't show it because they're going to play next week.
Fudge their tests.
Down step from Mead, and the kick to Liddy almost worked. Smith, taken to the line by Wines.
Well, Jeremy Cameron just coming for a rest, so Jones comes with him. He's going to be under pressure, as is a lot of these Port defenders. The ball's been inside forward 50 12 times already for the Cats. Just the 4 so far for Port Adelaide.
Riley Smith lost his headband, so we'll have to run him one out. The headbands were given to every person in the crowd a few weeks ago, so maybe someone from the crowd will be able to fling one out there for him. Burgoyne picks it up. High, got 3. Didn't pluck it. McEntee inside 50. Lord used his body. Can he get back onto it? He can. Can he kick it though?
No. Worked it well. Had to be physical, but the cavalry arrived for the Cats defenders.
That's the second time, though, he's had a big one-on-one win like that.
Yeah.
He's been outnumbered once the ball hits the deck, but he's been able to fight back and either halve it or win it himself.
It's a really good word, isn't it? They've got quite a few fighters, blokes who will have a fight in contest.
Dempsey got the ups. Lorenz wraps him up. You can't just run any old headband out as well. The AFL have headband rules. Can't have a sponsor logo on it. Can only be black, white or club colours. Headband, so we'll have to get one without a logo on it. He's still got the hair flowing, no headband, and he's still good enough to launch it long. Dangerfield got there. Neil collects. It's in turn collected by Zach Thatcher. Ball.
What a great tackle. So easy to collapse and fall into the back, but he held him up.
Georgiades with Lord playing deep. Georgiades playing a little higher, and it's just to skip over the head of Tom Stewart. It didn't.
He knew his teammate was there, Georgiades. He just kicked the space, thinking his teammate he had the space.
Yeah.
Tom Stewart did well to work over to intercept.
You're not going to outread Tom Stewart on angles.
No.
And he knows them as this ground better than anybody as well. Let's ask.
Oh,
Smith.
yeah, he's as good as a mathematician out there, isn't he? He just works it out, cuts the corners, cuts the angles. He's so good at it.
They could just run out some scissors as an alternative.
Michael Tuck had that there once.
Did he?
Waverley, yeah, they cut his hair.
Mid-ground haircut. Mid-game haircut.
I think Alan Jens would be okay with that hairdo. We'll get back to that shortly. Lord gets there. Good grab. Playing in front.
Yep. He's a competitor, Ollie Lord. I saw that a couple of years ago in his first or second game where he took on Maxi Gaunt to rough him up. I thought, this kid's got a bit of spunk about him.
And a big night out at the Gabba a few years ago as well. It's been tougher for him since then.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to put a scare through the Cats early. That'll work back well, brilliantly.
He deserved that. That's fantastic from Lord.
So, Bradley, we've got 6 entries inside 50 for Port Adelaide, and they've kicked 2 goals 3. They've scored on 5 out of 6 occasions. So we see how, look at that shot there. It shows you how much separation those forwards have. It's not going to be a 2v2 at any stage. Look at all that space that Ollie Lord has to come forward into. And as reliable as Jack Henry is on the back shoulder.
Whitlock to the side of him. So Whitlock, he's in a dangerous enough spot that his direct opponent can't lead
Has to stay with him, yep.
and cover the hole that Lord ended up leading into.
Oh, Butters is starting to get cranky with Asheen Mullins, just on the left-hand side.
So he's doing his job then, the Irishman.
He's falling off the back here.
Smith, headband back on.
Yeah.
Butters goes and gets, gave it to Wines, hands it up. This is pure McEntee.
Oh,
Gee, needed to finish that. So much hard work done. Kicked a couple of goals against the Crows last week. He was Port Adelaide's only multiple goal kicker in that game. The Port was crushed. Port's worst ever score in a showdown, their biggest ever defeat in the showdown last week. So maybe that's going to be the spur in this. Dangerfield back to Smith. Cameron, Neil, both were there. Weren't quite on the same page. Aaliyah changed his mind late. Myers, dainty little kick to Stengel. That hurts.
so what actually happens is in the matchup, so you've got Willem Drew, he's trying to go to Holmes. You've got Asheen Mullins, he's trying to go to Zach Butters. And in the centre then, that leaves Ollie Wines to take on Bailey Smith. From the back pocket at the other side of the ground, Bailey Smith takes off. Ollie Wines is forward of him, but cannot keep up with him. Smith gives him windburn as he runs past, receives, drives deep into the forward line, and there's your easy entry into the forward 50. The rest happens.
Big stand protects the city end better than ever. Put that across the face, though.
That is third behind.
It is.
Yeah. So that's a worry, that one. Bailey Smith, he's running head-to-head against Ollie Wines. As brave and as big and as angry as Ollie can get, he's not going to cover the field.
Lear needs to improve his game as well today. He's already had the 2 drop marks and then a kick then that nearly cost them a goal. He's better than what he's putting on display at the minute.
Jones is doing well in opposition to Cameron. He feeds that away from Cameron to try and let's keep it away from his man. Lorenz hard of them and then kicked into the butt of Travis Boak on the rebound. Myers, and he'll make you pay. Cameron
50.
hit by Sin. And how's the umpire going to see this?
He's paid a mark.
He was 50 or 50.
So if it's paid a mark, they have to assume that the contact's late, so 50 metres is awarded. Let's have a look in replay.
Oh, yeah, that's 50.
Yeah.
They're not worst enemy, though, Port Adelaide. Like, just the fact running out and they kick into their own teammate.
And they did it well to that point.
They did extremely well. And then, obviously, Geelong are sitting goal side of it because they're chasing tail on that passage.
Goal 70 for the season for Jeremy Cameron.
It was the first time he's been able to get free in this quarter, and it was off the back of the turnover we were just talking about.
Well, Jones had to push forward.
Well, that's right. He had no other option.
There he
that
is in the
particular
screen
point. Here we go here.
That's good play.
Nice. Once again, they're out. They've got
And back.
numbers. And just the kick in the Boak's backside.
Have you been calling for that, Travis Boak?
No.
He wanted a handball. And then he tried to veer out after. He almost blocked the viewfinder, didn't he? And just. You're going to give it to me?
That is unlucky.
One way or the other.
Because there's the catch. There's the chasing players. All just sitting back there.
Yeah.
Waiting for it.
That's the old-fashioned make him earn it spoil.
Well, happy birthday present. He turned 37 this week, Travis Boak. Take that. Drew. Down the spine. Henry, good hands. Had the reach on Burn Jones. Another local, Jack Henry, grew up a torpedo from here. Used to ride his bike here. Have a kick around. Aaliyah.
It's better Aaliyah.
Went the fist, not the mark, and then gathered his own crumb to Georgiades. Got up there.
Oh, Burn Jones against a much bigger opponent.
He might go for home here. Needs a little roll and a skip and a tumble and a bounce. He didn't get it all. And David Roden. I mentioned Travis Boak earlier, picked 5 in the 06 draft. 2 of the others in that draft, Todd Goldstein, is unlikely to play next year. And David Roden was in that draft as well.
Kelly, how many
Still going strong, the D-Rod.
You got there how many games D-Rod played?
I'll look it up for you.
We'll have a quick look.
High ball to Guthrie. And now O'Connor. Stewart. De Koning. Another semi-local, if you like, family. Spent their summers down here. The big family of 10 kids. Used to bring the minibus down for the whole summer. Didn't have a car. O'Connor. George Stengel used his body well on Sim, who pleads his case. About to be caught. Wines wrapped him. Big fist of Berry. Burnt Jones. Georgiades, who sits it up for Stewart, who swiped it away but didn't really get enough palm on it. McEntee tried to jump back in and Stewart knocks that little mess up to Atkins. Short. Turned over. Not the required. Wine stands back. Gave it to Lorenz. He might fire up from 50. Got it. Will Lorenz, second goal of the year for him. And they're alive in this.
Just forward half pressure. The Cats were seemingly on the outward flow with that turnaround of the ball here and just able to get to and harass the kicker. Oh, he's standing in the way and bang. It's a nice little start for Port Adelaide. They've run out here, Dwayno, and said, don't dismiss us.
13th and final season as coach for Ken Hinkley. Mentioned played quite a bit of his footy here. A few games left to coach, but they do want to send him out in style if they can. He's been Well, a brilliant coach. Yes, no grand finals. I get all that, but it's a nice start for a team that does have a couple out. Rosie was the late out with illness, if you just joined us. Snack back inside 50. Sin. Gathers and goes. Got a boo or two. Won't mind that. Farrell.
He looks to cut back in. Nobody goes there.
Skipped it past Burn-Jones. Butters. This beeline went straight through a few of them. Left the Sharon behind. Humphreys. Corralled by Berry. Pressure on the kick. Farrell. Too slick for Butters. Still with Machine Mullen wearing him like a glove. Ball stays in play for a second. Bowes. Manor. Look away. Close. The collect. And now he thumps it Cameron's way. Jones right with him. Zerk Thatcher slips. Wines.
Slick.
Sin. The Zerk Thatcher slips. Sometimes the little things can cost you. Williams. They dodge a bullet. Though Guthrie should swallow this.
Ollie Wines is having some sort of quarter for the power, been excellent. 12 disposals.
I have a few family and friends in the house from Echuca and Bendigo as well. Guthrie Victorian. Ollie Wines, game 271. One of their all-time greats. Humphreys bumped on the kick. And Liam Dangerfield combined to get it out.
David Broden is a player, played 185 games, 65 for Richmond, 111 for Port Adelaide, 9 for Melbourne. And now excellent in his role as a goal umpire.
Nice call, Jono. Good to have the Bulldogs game record holder Brad Johnson with us. There's the old coach and the new coach, and the incoming coach Josh Carr side by side with Ken. Holmes, as the seconds tick down, goes long. Cameron's lurking, hands on it. Jones has done a pretty good job. Needs to think his way through this. Got himself in trouble. How big in trouble? Free kick for High.
That's a hand. Justin. I reckon he might have jabbed his wrist into the ground and fallen with full weight over the top of it.
Lorenz, who kicked the goal a few minutes ago, sends it back out as the seconds keep ticking. De Koning, good hands, pops it back. Last chance of the score. Williams got there, but left it behind. Manor on the siren. I reckon he's got it.
No, they're calling no score.
Oh, Dwayne, it's tight.
Will they check it?
I think they have to.
No, that's it. The umpire says, I heard it. I heard it. Whether I called no score or the end of play, I heard it. It's when I heard it.
As opposed to when it sounded.
Correct.
What a time. GMHBA Stadium, and we've got a contest. It's all tied up. 23 apiece. You can be guaranteed we'll check it. You can be guaranteed they'll go through it on bounce. And first crack, they miss absolutely nothing on bounce. If it's to be laughed at. And they miss absolutely nothing on first crack. It's going to be controversial. Quarter time at the Cattery, and it's all square.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome in, everyone. It's 3-5, 23 apiece. It's all tied up here at quarter time. The Cats and Port Power, Port Adelaide, WA footy kid. How you doing, Albert? Ryan, Tine in the house. Of course, Anthony's in there. He's had a bet on Port Adelaide. Adrian's had a bet on Port Adelaide. Should have had did you have the double? Did you have the double? Port Adelaide Freo. That would have been good odds, although, yeah, that would have actually been pretty good odds. I tell you what. Let's get in the money. Show me the money. That's what you want. Santa all. Show me the money. There we go. I tell you what. Just looking at the AFL ladder right now, the live ladder, there it is, a ring-a-ding-ding, Geelong on 54 points. If it's all tied up, that'll give Fremantle a chance to leapfrog Geelong and go top four if they can win and Geelong tie or lose this game. Can you believe it? Freo, a chance to go top four. My gosh, Freo $1.08. Holy Toledo, Batman. That's super short. That is super, super short. That's incredible. I can't believe they're $1.08. I know, we expect Freo to win. I know we expect Freo to win, but $1.08. I would have thought maybe 170. 170 would have been probably more like it, I reckon. 8 goal scorers. Will Lorenz has got one. Ollie Lord has got one. Joel Berry has one for Port Adelaide. Tell you what, they're looking pretty good. Maxi Holmes, Dangerfield, Cameron, all singles there for the Cats. Let's have a look at the ball magnets. Ollie Wines for Port Adelaide. There we go. Tops the table on an even dozen. 2 kicks, 10 handballs, 4 tackles, 4 clearances. Bailey Smith, tell you what, he lost his headband out there. I think one of the crowd needs to throw one to him. Kick that golden locks out of his eyes. He's on 10 with Lawson Humphreys. Max Holmes all on 10. Kane Farrell next best on 9 for Port Power. I tell you what, I'm liking the way Port Adelaide are going in this game, folks. If you're watching, you'll probably like it the way as well. I tell you what, they're running pretty clean. They've got some good speed on the ball. They're looking a little bit better at the moment than the Cats. The Cats look just a little bit wayward out there at the moment. Look, we understand. We know the Cats. We're waiting for the Cats to put it all together, just get their rhythm flowing. It's like the Cats are a little bit like they're on the dance floor at the moment with 3 left feet. They've got to get rid of 1 left foot, turn it to a right foot, and get dancing pretty nicely. But I'll tell you what, Paddy Dangerfield was a fantastic goal there for the Cats. There we go. Zach Butters, he's only had 3 touches. He's had a couple clearances. Travis Boak, 3 as well. Paddy Dangerfield, just the 2 touches. 1 kick, 1 handball. Kicked the goal. Jeremy Cameron, 1 kick, 1 mark, 1 goal. That is it. Very lucky 50, but he probably would have slotted the goal anyway. So they're definitely holding Jezza up pretty well. Hey, let's just have a quick look at the team stats. That's actually the Cats by 12 disposals overall. Inside 50, tell you what, there's plenty of inside 50s for both teams. 19 to the Cats, 8 scoring shots. 11 Port Adelaide, 8 scoring shots. So definitely more efficient the Port Adelaide at this moment. Free kicks, well, it's got 5-0 Port Adelaide's way. But obviously the 50-metre penalty doesn't count there because we saw Jezza get a 50-metre penalty. So 5-0. I tell you what, it's a little bit like a finals game out there, and I think hopefully we're in for a tight game here. It should be an absolute ring-a-ding-ding game down here, as I said, down here at GMHBA Stadium, where it's about 15 degrees. The sun is shining. It's a packed stadium. The crowd, I tell you what, the crowd are a little bit quiet at the moment. Cats just controlling the ball when they got it. 36 marks to 9. They did do a fair bit of chipping backwards, so Port Adelaide pressure standing up really well. Just as we have a look at the tackle count, as I was saying, Port Adelaide bringing the pressure today. 30 tackles, already halfway there to the season average through quarter time. 16 to the Cats. Tell you what, she's pretty good. She's pretty good. But it's 3-5, 23 each of 2. It's all tied up here at quarter time. That's the thing, though. That is the thing. Port Adelaide playing really good, solid footy. Good defensive work. Cats, as I said, they've got 3 left foot at the moment. Can they steady the ship and get a little bit of speed on the ball, which we know they do? And I tell you what, when they did get a bit of speed on the ball, they did look a little bit better, a little bit more dangerous. And of course, they were discussing that goal after the siren. The Geelong player thought he kicked it on the siren. Umpire said, no score. Anyway, it's all tied up here at quarter time, folks. Remember, the Geelong Cats team was unchanged for today, so maybe they're looking at this could be their solid side for the run out for the home and away season and into the finals with no changes in today's game. Should be an interesting second quarter. Let's head back down to the action where it's all tied up.
And Jack Martin for the Cats. Cats began today 4th. 13 wins, 4 losses. Big percentage, 134.2. They can't move up into the top 3 with a win, but gee, how big's the 4 points worth? And right now, Port Adelaide are threatening to steal it from them. Holmes wide to Bowes, couldn't trap. Mead goes and gets it.
Drew and Holmes, their laces tied up together. Drew gets it now because he was the first to release from it.
Drew turns and goes.
That's not a great kick.
Over the head of Whitlock. It's going to make it tough for the debutant Jack Whitlock, 19 years of age. He's 200 centimetres, but he needed to be 232 to get that.
Well, that's on Willem Drew. He's got to kick it better than that. There was nobody between him and the target, so he could have dropped it shorter.
Aaliyah might cut this off. Top 5 in the AFL again this year for intercept marks. Aaliyah.
His hands have been average to start with today, so that might give him a bit of confidence. To just take the ground, go down the line, big spoil.
He's not a fast through the air kick, Aaliyah, either.
No, I get what you mean, yeah. They don't travel to the target all that quickly.
There's Jack Whitlock, the debutant.
You kind of find that the blokes who kick it slow through the air, it's one of our theories, Dwayne, the drop punt spins incredibly quickly. The slower they spin, the further they seem to go.
That's 2 references to mathematicians and Pythagoras from you today. Ball knocked down towards Bailey Smith. Lorenz gets there and he fumbles it back to Smith. Worst guy to give it to Stewart. Feeds it out the front to Dempsey, who gets and goes. Feeds it over the top. Stengel on the back pedal. Sits it up for Dangerfield, who gets up there. Knocked it to the front. Smith comes hard. He tried to don't argue, but defend wasn't quite dusty-like, and he got caught through the tackle machine.
Yeah, you got to have a crack at that. If you get through, you get a shot. You'll take that risk in your own forward line. Good hard run.
Berry.
Get a look at this action. It's only short. Bokey's out.
Travis goes back to Darcy Byrne-Jones. Not a lot to go to, and that's almost a win.
Yeah. Well, it's further back than where they started with the kick with Darcy Byrne-Jones.
Well, they had 13 4.5 intercepts in the first quarter, the Cats, their best individual quarter for the season. So that's another one right there. In fact, they're able to turn the ball over and get a stop play inside their forward half.
See that packed player stand, grandstand that the recent premierships have been able to get erected. And fantastic. The growth of this arena. Travis Boak thumps it long. Ward, no 3 for an arm chop. Holmes, inside. Dempsey, his target. Hits him. Turns and goes. He rolled a mongrel. Burgoyne read it well, playing in front. Lorenz with a bullet. Boak.
Just refusing to push forward just at the moment with any speed. The Cats are sitting back well. Their defensive structure is strong.
It's funny, let's talk about that in a second.
Look at that there, 1v4. That's how good their setup is, the Cats.
So Barney's paid. Barney Smith gets and goes. He's got Dangerfield out the back over the top. Too far for Manor to hit that kick. Blitzars. Oh, he's still got danger. It was there for an eternity. Hands it off. Jezza! The unselfish Cats.
Jezza was there for a while as well. The extra handball meant Jezza wasn't able to get the pass inside forward 50, but once Danger took that mark, he just cut through very quickly. Danger right onto it.
He timed it well, didn't he?
Yeah, it was perfect. It really was. Their build-up here was fantastic. Off great structure and shape for the contest. Create the turnover with the outnumber 4v1, and then they had players everywhere. It's well set up, Matt. That's their best play of the day so far, the Cats.
There's 20 clear in the Coleman now. The most goals ever here. Doug Wade kicked 13. Gary Ablett kicked a lot of goals here as well. But he hasn't got the biggest number ever kicked here. Gary Senior. He did kick 124 goals in 17 games in 93. 124 in 17 games. He kicked a 14, 12 and 11. 2 10s and a few 8s. He could play. Mullen wrapped up.
Yeah, he could play a bit, couldn't he?
Could play a bit. You let him go from the Hawks.
Yeah, he's the most talented footballer I think I've ever seen.
Holding, Geelong. Bad assessment. Holding, Geelong 3, Stewart.
Joe Richards still down in the rooms, boys. A little bit unusual given that he went down into the rooms at the end of the quarter time break, opposed to the start of it. It appeared to be a left arm concern, so we'll wait for some more clarity.
Thanks, Nick. Neil. Out wide. He's got O'Connor on the run. Dangerfield's leading to the pocket. It's in front of him, and the lead did well. Got an arm around him. Boak. Zerk Thatcher. This is the kick, though, that's giving them trouble because they've got the wall. Normally the Cats, Stewart in that wall normally. Can they feed their handballs through it? Burnt Jones caught Stewart's fingertip on the way through, so no, they didn't get through. Holmes, a roller, Manor, sidestep, pops it wide, that'll work. Bose.
So just while he lines this up, you talked about the way that the Cats are defending. I think the Cats are defending incredibly well between the two 50-metre arcs through the middle of the ground. But once Port Adelaide get inside, say, 50, 55 metres, their forwards are really damaging, really dangerous.
Well, they had 8 shots this afternoon, so yeah, that's testament to
Yeah,
that.
but they defend the middle of the ground so well, Geelong. It's not getting down there that much.
Kicked a goal last week. That'll work back magnificently. Settles things down a bit. Early stages, second term.
It's where they create the turnover. Once again, they're pretty sharp with their hands. The Cats, and it ends up in the hands of Manor. Just a scrubbly kick, but Holmes saw blitz after it was, didn't get to him. And then Manor was able to find Bose on the outside.
It is essentially a turnover. That handball is knocked down because, once again, Geelong, they're switched on in that part of the field, in between the two 50-metre arcs. And they knock it down and gain possession themselves. It effectively is a turnover. And then they find their targets.
A little bit of swing in that kick from Jack Bose. His great uncle Bill was an English Test cricketer who once bowled Bradman.
Wow. Well, his dad used to play cricket at my cricket
I
club.
was leading you in, Derm. I'm your straight man, remember?
Yeah. Basher, his nickname was. Basher Bose.
Mullen.
I didn't know that he's got that relative. Oh, well done.
Spears it inside 50. Jones gets back. Lends a hand. Sim. Stolen off his boot by Stengel. That was nice.
So that's what they do. They defend so well. I mean, he's a forward, and he's defended the movement of the ball there just by nearly laying on the boot with a smother.
Blighty used to have the Cats players practicing that skill
Oh, that had hurt if you
years
do
and
it too
years
often.
ago. Smother but take possession.
Jones is all over Cameron at the moment.
Well, he's gone all right.
It's been very good. I just fear the frustrations on Jeremy might just ball over at some point.
Manor on the fly.
A couple of snaps. Manor that haven't turned up fruitful.
A pretty good mature age recruit, though. Picked 36 a couple of years ago. 6 goals in a VFL Grand Final for Werribee on the BOG medal. No other team wanted him. And here he's a regular now for a premiership contender in the AFL.
He's a smart.
Oh, my goodness.
No,
Kane Farrell straight to Atkins.
he had players out on the Moorable Street side of the ground, the outer side of the ground, all by himself, Sin and Liddy, and he decided to take this
He
one.
goes to Manor, who's had a sider from here.
I don't think Atkins likes a shot at goal. He's just trying to give it a couple of in this game.
I don't know why, but I just get the feeling that Atkins kicking goals ain't his thing. He doesn't care about it.
Doesn't worry about it.
It's leave that to the glamour boys. He likes doing what he does, tackling and harassing and getting at the bottom of packs. Dwayno,
Yes.
yeah, goal kicking. That's not his bag.
Manor in the meantime, that's across the face. Should have had the shot then. Tom Atkins. He's another mature age recruit the Cats have picked up that others didn't want. Won a couple of AFL premierships. VNFs, I should say, for the Cats.
As you
For
said,
becoming a
Dwayne,
premiership player.
you've got to have ditch diggers as well.
The world's got to have ditch diggers too. Thanks for that. Just a little bit of caddyshack for those playing at home. Whitlock
That's a nice movement there by the young lad Whitlock.
to Berry. And is it another shot free?
Yeah.
Good crowd in. Volume up a little.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that was a free.
Kicked the last 2 goals of the game. The Cats. Central kick. Over the head of Whitlock. Was he held? Or who held who?
So, no, what De Koning went to move Whitlock under the footy. He felt his body getting moved too quickly, knew he was going to be completely under the ball, so he clung on to the right arm of DeConey. So he came with him under the footy.
Whitlock family.
Oh, that's
Angela,
a shank.
and Father Paul in the grandstands. Of course, brother plays for North Melbourne, Matt. The two twins, Jack Whitlock and brother Matt. Drafted back-to-back days in the draft. And that might be insufficient intent. No, he's dragged down.
And Joe Richards back on the bench for Port Adelaide. He does have that left shoulder strapped. You wouldn't be shocked if there was a little bit of local anaesthetic in as well, just to take the edge off the paint.
Thank you, Nick. Good block.
Great tackle.
Bailey Smith. And sometimes they do play that holding the ball if you've got one arm free.
Yeah, I reckon they should. You got one arm free and you're on your feet, and then you take the ball to ground. Yeah, that's on you.
One for Swanee. Put that on the list of 100. Manor almost flings that out. Neil.
Good fight. Well done. Good fight by the big fella. Sometimes big man beats little man on the ground, Dwayne.
You're rolling the clock back. Yeah. From the scramble. So good big man should always be a good little man.
Yeah, good big man should always be a good little man. And then you quickly learn, except below the knees.
Captain Blood, I reckon, doing your quote there. Sweet, caught, wrapped up. Going nowhere.
So when you see repeat stoppages like this, it tells you that both teams are keen on the hard things, keen on retaining the footy in the spot, not letting easy takeaway. Well done, Manor.
Manor stole the lollies and Aaliyah doing what Aaliyah normally does. Taking intercept marks, and now they fan. Jones got there. Had sin and didn't reward him.
Yeah, I reckon you've got to give that.
Williams.
Great kick. Outside, look outside.
Boak. He's got Big Sweetie outside if he wants him. He does.
Oh, no.
Inside. Well worked. Mead. Winds. Ugly bounce for Drew. Perfect for Atkins. Dropped it. Boak couldn't get away with it. Lord wrapped up.
So here we're going to get another look again. This is the deepest they've gone for 7 or 8 minutes. They defend, as we said, between the two 50-metre arcs very well. How do they defend inside defensive 25?
Lord and Stanley do the ruck work. Boak quickly wrapped up. Sullivan stopped him from going anywhere.
No one on the line. Georgiades goes back.
Lord, front spot. Richards back out there as Nick Dalsato told us. Caught.
Tight pack, isn't it? Hit one way to the outside. Get somebody on the bike.
Tried the little flick. Sullivan immediately pounced on.
And your danger man, Zach Butters, is sitting on the bench. So it's got to be Richards.
Early jump from Lord. Stanley stood his ground. Richards nearly had it. Nearly again. Smith jumps on it. They jump on him. Umpire says, I'll have it. It's a good contest. Magnificent conditions. Coolish afternoon at the Cattery.
Oh, good hit.
Atkins, Smith, Lorenz wrapped in. Richards wrapped up too.
So they're working hard to hold it in. If they don't get first hands on, the Cats are doing well not to allow a snapshot at goal.
Stanley knocked it straight to Boak, straight down his throat. And Boakey winds back the clock.
There you go. First time inside 25 metres. They score again, Bradley. It took a little while, but once they get it inside 50, Port Adelaide, they are dangerous.
Good result after, I think it was 5 stoppages in a row. So it was a great result in the end for Travis Boak to be able to take that one clean, hit outside from Stanley, straight to him.
Who was the outside winger for the Cats?
The Cats is sitting.
Because Boak's sitting off there.
It's hard in the contest.
Yeah,
so Sullivan. Holmes is off the back.
Henry's off the back this side.
Yeah, so was Holmes. And that's just the way that it rolled. It was 5th stoppage in a row, and in the end, Port Adelaide were able to win the clean ball.
Needs to play next season to join the 6 AFL, VFL 400 club players. Travis spoke, the 400 club, exclusive club, but
Oh, good jump.
he'll join them next year if he plays on. So Whitlock's in the ruck now for Port Adelaide, the debutant.
Burn's gone back.
Sin. From Darcy Byrne-Jones. Little flick on. Doesn't work because Holmes pounces on it. Sends it inside 50. Overcooked a little. Jones stood his ground.
Oh,
Full-chested. Did everything right, then did it wrong. Some tools in the goal square. Neil down there. Stanley down there. He keeps it low for the leader, Dangerfield. He did everything right until he did it all wrong.
Man, what a beautiful kick as well. Beautiful setup by the Cats because plenty of time to set that one up, create a little pocket. Danger in the right spot off the big barrel chest.
that was rehearsed. Yep, they knew exactly what they wanted and how to get it.
Stanley again against the debutant Whitlock. Mead spins it on jam. Whitlock gets a trickling kick.
Here he is.
Wrong guy. Wrong guy. Missed it to the near side.
Wasn't it interesting that the ball's going deep, but Jeremy stood out next to Holmes, 75 metres from goal, and he wasn't going to go in there. He was just going to kind of float through there if the ball started to play a little wild.
So Lear stayed down, close stayed down. Dempsey goes and gets sidestep, worked his way into some room through the hands of Bowes. Burgoyne had it but dropped it. Whitlock can rush this if he can get near it. Dangerfield, he feels like he owes himself.
What was that?
It was like a backyard kick. When you grew up in an apartment block, you don't have a lot of room to move.
It was like he had to step back onto his left and hook around. That's where the space was.
He had a bit of fatigue on the last step or so.
Nearly game from danger.
Burgoyne bounces it away. Jeremy can't collect it. Richards does. Hand up. Georgiades gave it to Blitzars. Gave it to O'Sullivan. Smothered kick from the ricochet. Mead. Burgoyne. Here's this wall. O'Connor. O'Sullivan. Henry. So they come all the way back to half back. Holmes.
He's run hard, O'Sullivan, out to the far wing, but it creates space up the middle.
Guthrie.
Still there.
And he could launch it if he wanted to. He doesn't want to. He goes too close. Well, he took a half netball step and then decided no.
Yeah, he worked so hard, O'Sullivan, from this near flank involved and then cut through the front half of the centre square and was used out the other side.
Another of the Cats' free players got for free.
Plenty
Draft
going
pick
on.
elevated.
Lear in danger at the moment.
Should get there.
Oh, still going on.
Scores will level at quarter time if you've just joined us. Port Adelaide begin the day 11th. Geelong begin the day 4th. Leaf high. Aliir held it long enough. Liddy. Taking on the aggressive kick and
He hit behind
losing
the
there.
umpire.
Did he hit hide beyond the umpire?
I reckon he did.
Myers, a little 1-2. Can Thatcher get there? It's a behind anyway.
He almost popped out from behind. He's pretty hard to hide.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of him.
Smart play if that's the case.
Yeah.
Very smart.
He used him like a visible screen.
They have kicked to their opponents a few times, the power players.
hope he was hiding behind him. It shows he's really thinking about it.
Lord got there late. Big fist. Dangerfield about to pounce. Got an ugly bounce. Blitzard the perfect bounce to Myers. He stops the run.
Had to get a result, Bradley. They worked so hard for that last goal.
Well, and once again, though, you look at Port Adelaide and they're kicking out of defence here. Where's their real shape around the contest? Everyone's in really, really close. They've lost everything, and in the end, it's Dangerfield, it's Myers that are sitting goal side for the Cats off the big spoil. So, and that's just the nature of it. They turned a couple over on kick out that have resulted in the Cats being able to have direct shots at goal. That one, Brian Myers was able to nail.
What do you make of that kicking style, Jono? You're a kicking coach.
No, I think he's worked it out really well for his own benefit, and he's so good at it.
Would you coach him?
No, there was a time here that he was looking to have his set shot straight from 30 metres in because he didn't have to search for distance. When it was distance, he was on the launch, of course, the way that he moves his angles. Now he just sticks with that and does it well, and it suits his game. So well done. He worked on all facets and found what suits him best.
Bogue, Drew, Sweet, Wines.
Downfield free kick.
Downfield free, luckily for McEntee, and next hurt in the middle of the ground, Ollie Wines, and it takes a bit to hurt Ollie Wines.
Yeah. Let's get another look at it here. Yeah, you jump. He's committed in the air. You can't change his track. But I think, but recognising the actions there by Tom Stewart, he tried to lessen the blow. He jumped because he thought the handball was going to go the loop over the top.
Yep.
And then he's committed on the line. You can't change your course once you're airborne. But he showed genuine concern, and I don't think there was malice in it, and he tried to lighten his landing on Ollie Wines. Oh, Ollie Lord's on a good lead.
He is. He's out.
The bad kick.
We get the jump at it, and Stewart gets back and takes the mark after his own indiscretion.
Yeah, bad kick. Lord got on a good lead, and it made him stop still.
To Graham Myers, that unique kicking style out wide to Dangerfield. Burgon got in front of him, and then Dangerfield won it back. Dempsey to Koning. Neil got there late. Liddy at the front. Trying to fend off on Neil. Got away with it. Wines is up and about. Got it to Boak. Bouncing ball by McEntee. Finds Williams. He can turn inside. Does the full 360 and finds Darcy Byrne-Jones. Stolen away by Guthrie, and the Cats are out. If Holmes wants to go. And he normally does want to go. Turned over. Drew. And turns it back over to Guthrie.
So he had a one-on-one. Deep inside forward 50.
DeCona. But Myers riding shotgun was always going to give it.
He wants his
Corralled
right
by
foot.
Lord.
Yeah, that was well played. Didn't commit to him so he could come back, step inside with the right foot.
Mullen dropped it and
Worked out well.
mopped it up. There's that side swipe style that doesn't work this time. Burgoyne cuts it off, gave it to Liddy. Port Adelaide on the bounce back to Whitlock. Just over his head again. He's had a couple of opportunities to have an impact, and the kicks haven't hit him. Dangerfield got there. Strong hands. Turns and goes. Launches. Goal square. Stanley's forward. Tunnelling maybe?
Yep.
Tunnelling, yes. So Thatcher really needed to get back and mark that. Otherwise, he was cooked. He didn't mark it.
It was the early jump turn. He went really early, Stanley, knowing that the body pressure was going to come.
Hands it off. Jeremy Cameron, a carbon copy.
Just got to keep your eyes on Jeremy. You can't take your eyes off him because he's into the right spots for the handball receives this afternoon. It's not so much Mark Lee, Jeremy Cameron. It's just get to the right spot, get a nice little handball from a teammate and hit the goal.
Yeah, the height of Stanley worried Dirk Thatcher then. That's why he tried to move him under.
Watch him give the ball back, right, and then takes off.
That's...
You can't tell me they're not thinking 100 this year.
He's sitting on the wrong side and he's doing so well, Lockie Jones. He just had to be outward side on his left leg.
I think it's more get him as close to the mark as we can for finals. Play the natural way in finals. You're not doing that in the final. Right?
No, correct. But,
Slammed into the deck. Jeremy Cameron has 3. 72 for the year. Kicked off the carpet by Drew. Bailey Smith goes and gets. Humphries was on the flyby. Tunneling again.
And Jess has just started on the wing, and he's got young Joe Berry as his matchup. So poor Joe Berry's got him in defence.
Smith.
There's a chance to get this too, Dal, if Bailey Smith can see it.
yeah, they'll try and feed him.
Yeah.
He slips it short. Neal. Farrell. Cord. Berry. Cameron's man.
Back this way. Let's go that side. Let's go that side. Straight back. Jordan, please.
Flung in the air. Good spot for a ball up here for the Cats. Butters. Liddy. Caught and caught high.
Yeah, that's...
Butters only had 3 touches in the game.
So Sheen Mullen doing that job still.
He is.
Thump wide. Georgiades beaten to it by a stronger body of DeConing then. Sits up. Who wants to fly here? Stanley. 1-2, not the third grab. Plays a good arm lock tackle. Cats have kicked 4 of the last 5 goals of the game. Scores a level at quarter time in the shadows this beautiful afternoon. Jones caught. Ashim Mullen. That would have been nice to add to his resume. He's kicked 6 behinds now. Ashim, can we give him a goal? He's yet to kick a goal in his career. Butters takes the opportunity to get a kick in. Good idea. One way of getting a touch on him.
Thank you, Mitch.
Last pieces of sunshine on the Moorabool Street wing on this beautiful afternoon. Sweet, Drew, Atkins, Myers, Gibbsy was clever. Just wanted to keep it alive. Blitzarf stumps it, and Zirk Thatcher dives, and it's caught the line. It's a ball in. It's got that finals feel in the air about it. Freshly mown grass, you can smell it. Sun shining. 3 more games for the Cats after this, and then finals. Cameron lurking again.
He's had a shot.
On his left. Didn't bend it around.
Make no mistake, he was having a shot.
Normally he gets reasonable purchase.
Yeah, he undercut it.
He did.
For those unaware, kicked 11 goals, 1 last week, did Jeremy Cameron. All handball towards the top of the square. Zirk Thatcher caught. Aaliyah, Berry, Burgoyne, Richards.
They just got to look from this kick here, this quarter, they've got a little mixed up. They perhaps should be going down the line and giving some of their tall timber a chance to just fight the fight.
Bog.
And occasionally looking into the centre, but the Cats are so good and play this ground so well. They normally shut that type of kick off. Look, they shut it down. Or anything deeper going into the centre, they're very good at getting to. Sweet comes down the line now.
So Whitlock just nudged out with ease. Sweet got there, as you mentioned, Derm, and that looked high on Butters again. So
Good numbers ahead.
This time.
He's got a roll and go. They had a 2-on-1 forward of the footy, and Blitzarf was screaming for help. Too long.
Sits it up. Georgiades might be the leaper. Got up there from 4 deep, couldn't mark it. Richards, Bogue, turned inside, couldn't get away from O'Connor.
Thank you. No. Thank you.
This is the biggest margin of the game so far. 24 points. Bowes rolls it for ground. Tried to skip it over the head of Jones.
Nasty.
Cameron takes him to the line.
Lockie Jones would have been looking that, and
That
he'd be
ball could have done
predicting the
anything.
bounce, and he'd be saying, "Don't pop, don't go over my head. Come on, baby."
Back into play. Sweet. Stanley. Knocked to the front. Charles Spoke meeting that sandwich. Caught, gone.
And he put the fend off arm up. Oh, Jeremy's off like a rocket into the forward 50.
Got a minute to play with the Cats. Atkins. Bose screamed for it. He looked away as if, I'm not going to give it to you. But I think he always intended to. Just wanted his eyes to go somewhere else. So Cameron could lead up to half forward, and this is right in his wheelhouse.
He's played that so well. It's just like the crafty old veteran, which he is now. He's still at the peak of his powers, but he is a veteran. He just knows how to make the opportunity for himself.
Traditional squeeze the ends of the ball for Jezza. This is for number 4. They're looking for him. They're looking for him. Feed the farmer some meat. How good Jezza going?
Oh, he's a star, isn't he? I've watched him just, once they've won the ball in the middle of the ground, he just took off. So there you see him there, and makes a dummy lead there. Smith, Jones thinks, he's yours, Chase Burgoyne. He doesn't really have that defensive skill set against somebody of Jeremy's height, 6'5". He's got the pace to get there, but that reach puts it beyond doubt. What a beautiful kick. Comes back right to left.
Four goals to half-time for Jeremy Cameron. Siren about to sound to end. It's been a brilliant quarter by the home team. They began the day 4th on the AFL ladder. 13 wins, 4 losses. A pretty big percentage in comparison as well, 134.2. They can't move up into the top 3 with a win. They could drop out of the top 4 with a loss if Fremantle was to beat Carlton. This is a huge 4 points that they can get at their last 3 games after this. Essendon here at GMHBA Stadium next week, then Sydney at the SCG, and then Richmond to close out the home and away at the MCG for the Cats. A good run into September, and they led at half-time by 30 points, 8-11-59 to 4-5-29 in perfect conditions. Great to have your company on the Sunday ticket. And to Dangerfield, who's led them well again today, came off early last week, but no injury issues for Paddy. Jeremy Cameron, 4 goals, and one of the other stars of the show is with our man Nick Dalsetta.
Well, Jack, got away from him a little bit late in that second quarter, but prior to that, it had been a good contest. What have you made of the first half?
Yeah, they came out strong. Their pressure was off a little bit in that first quarter, but we'll able to turn that around then and get some goals in the score. It was good.
37 inside 50, so dominating that particular stat for the 8 goals. So it's not a bad return, an area that could improve.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good point. A bit more efficiency inside 50 would be nice, but I think it starts at the contest and we keep winning that battle. I think it would go a long way.
It's a lovely kick by yourself, that last one to Jez. All eyes are now on Jez. Can we expect a few more getting fed down his throat?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many he's kicked, but, it's a team game. We'll bring a lot of our forwards into it, but, yeah, it's nice he gets to the end of it.
Happy if you kick it to Jez every single time. He's on 4, we want more.
Yeah, that's it. We'll do it.
All the best.
Cheers.
Nick Dalsetta with Jack Bowes downstairs. Great to have your company on Fox Footy. Don't go anywhere half-time here at the Cattery. Don't go anywhere full stop, because the footy never stops on Fox Footy. Lee Matthews returns to the couch tomorrow night.
All right, they'll be back in just a moment, folks. To tell you what, the Geelong Cats, they're getting on their bike and they're going really, really well. It's 8-11-59 Geelong, 4-5-29 Port Adelaide. Oh, 30 points of margin, can you believe it? Port Adelaide could only manage 1 straight goal in that second term. Geelong, however, 5 goals, 6. That was a barnstorming second quarter by Geelong Cats. I tell you what, it doesn't look good for Port Adelaide at the moment. They did their best in the opening term, but the Cats, well, they started to get a little bit of their mojo back in that second term, and they look really, really good so far. I tell you what, they are certainly looking for Jezza at every opportunity they can get to try and get his tally up closer to the 100. I think he's somewhere on about... he must be on about 79, I think. 79, 80 goals, somewhere there. 70 goals, 79, somewhere there. I'm not sure. ADG might be able to let us know. How many goals has Jeremy Cameron got this season? Yo, Ryan, what's going? Isabella, she's at the game. That'd be absolutely fantastic if you're a Cat supporter, Isabella. Tell you what, Pack Stadium, looks like the crowd's getting into a beautiful sunny day down there in Geelong. Certainly sounds a little bit better than what it is over there in Perth, Addy. They're talking, I think Albert was saying something about, Stephen was saying storms over there. My gosh, so it's not going to be a nice day over there for that next game coming up after this. But the Cats doing it really, really well here at halftime. While we're going to pop on over just for all the Geelong supporters. That is the live ladder. Geelong remaining fourth, 56. There we go. Only a game off top position, less the percentage of the Adelaide Crows. So I tell you what, Geelong could be up into second next week. All things going well for the Cats. You just never know. Let's have a look at some of the goal scorers, because the man of the moment, Jeremy Cameron, I tell you what, he started off slow, but I tell you what, he's hanging around. He is hanging around the people who get the mark or the free kick in that forward 50. He's getting the handball receives and just slotting the goals. He's had 6 disposals, Jeremy Cameron, all kicks, 4 goals, 1. I tell you what, if you're Port Adelaide, you'd be a little bit scared when Jeremy Cameron gets the ball. 5 scoring shots from his 6 kicks, doing well. Tops the table out there, the only multiple goal scorer. Graham Myers has a single, as has Maxie Holmes, Paddy Dangerfield, Jack Bowies, and of course for Port Adelaide, Lorenz, Lord, Boak and Berry are the single goal scorers there for Port Adelaide. Looking at the disposal getters, and of course Maxie Holmes, he's always leading the disposal count. He is just a ball magnet there for the Cats. He's top on the table out there at the moment with 18 disposals, 14 kicks, 4 handballs. He's had 4 marks, a tackle, 2 clearances. Also, he's kicked a goal. Bailey Smith, Mr. Headband, he's on 17, 5 clearances. Doing all right. Just workmanlike job out there for him today. Graham Myers next best on 14. Ollie Wine's the best for Port Adelaide. 14 touches, 2 kicks, 12 handballs, 4 clearances, 6 tackles. So going quite well. There we go. Lawson Humphries on 14. Who else we got? Travis Boak going reasonably well there for Port Adelaide on 14 touches. He's kicked a goal and had a couple clearances. Tommy Stewart on 12 with Sean Manor for the Catters. Who else we got there for you? Blixar's on 9. There we go. Jordan Sweet, the big man for Port Adelaide. 8 touches, 3 kicks, 5 handballs, 31 hit-outs. He's kicked, had a clearance as well. Sam DeConing there just with the 8. All right, we'll come back to the stats in a minute. Let's just head back down to the commentators for a little analysis on the opening half.
Points at the half, 8-11, 59 to 4-5, 29. We head down to the Bulldogs game record holder, Brad Johnson, with Dermot Brewer and Nick Dalsato.
Well, Wayne, it's all about Jeremy Cameron here at ground level. That's what all the talk is, isn't it, Dal? Everyone's just like, how many is Jezza going to kick today? It's been an interesting first half, the way that he's actually played.
Well, he's on 4. Nick and I were just saying he could kick 8, maybe even more, and Lockie Jones has probably beaten him.
Well, you look at the way he got the goals.
How does that work?
So the first one was off a poor kick from Aaliyah, which Lockie Jones couldn't do anything about. He gets 2 gimme handballs that most other times he's probably not getting. And then that last one was just exceptional. But I'm with you, Tim. He could have an okay game and finish with 8 or 10. We're going, I think he was probably in the best. It just highlights, this is great by Reece. Look at this. Just playing coy. And then just speaking to Jack Bowes, they're well aware of how he's travelling. So I expect in the second half, when the margin maybe becomes a little bit more comfortable, we will hopefully see more of this. But this is just exceptional. From outside 50, can't do much about that Burgoyne. and he just laces one like it's nothing.
As we have a look at the tally and where he sits so far this season, which is on 73 goals, sensational by Jeremy Cameron. It's kind of like the Cats are just, let's get him as close as we can. And we said this in commentary during to the finals. Then finals, we can't do what we've done this afternoon.
I think you've nailed it there. They know they're going to win. They're probably going to win. They might even increase the margin. Let's plump up Jeremy on this type of game. And I hope Port Adelaide come back and give them a bit of a scare here, and just show them, hey, we're not to be messed with.
Well, if they are, they're going to have to stop Max Holmes because his first half has been sensational. Highest rated Geelong player this season for half of football. He's been brilliant. It started with a fantastic goal.
Yeah, he's had the 18 disposals. What you expect about him, particularly at ground level, is the gut running. It's the power running. And we've spoken about him and Bailey Smith for the whole of the season. But when you see them literally run opponents off their legs, it is almost unstoppable. Now, the balance that Holmes has is he can win his own football. He's tough in the contest, but then he has the raw speed, the acceleration speed to get himself out of trouble too.
So what I've noticed today is centre bounces, he's in there.
Yep.
And as you say, he's quite durable, quite tough, but he's got tearaway speed. So that's invaluable at the centre bounces. If the ball goes deep onto a wing, he plays as the opposite winger and doesn't become that inside-on baller. He turns himself to a winger in general free-run play because he's able to run through the lines like very few other athletes in this comp. And so you get the other advantage of him, and that is that sprint burst power athlete that he is.
Well, Dylan, there was one passage of play that you really liked, and it was the way Geelong set things up to create a nice hole inside 50 for Dangerfield to lead into.
Didn't quite complete the action, but once the ball's on there, I think Holmes has got it on the outside. He's had it for about 20 seconds out there. Look how they hold that. And he comes from a long way back, and that is that's orchestrated, pre-orchestrated. They've worked out that kick's going there. It has to be a flat kick. It has to be a really good kick. And well, normally you're kicking that to the top of the square. That's your blonky play, for the big forwards or whatever. But if you're thinking your way through it, that was predetermined to go there. I loved it. It means they're all on the same page.
Now, Dale, a play that started right in front of you here where the ball from Port Adelaide was kicked out to meet ended up being a 4v1. And the way the Cats have set up the ground, especially when Port Adelaide have tried to transition, has been perfect. It's what happens from here, though, and how quickly they can turn defence into attack.
They just stall. They entice the opposition trying to kick it to a particular part of the ground. And once it gets there, they have 1, 2, and on that occasion, 4 people that can get to it. But then it's off turnover. So the modern game is all about turnover, winning the ball back, running in waves. And Jeremy Cameron, I think that was his second or third at that stage of the game. But it's all about the enticing the opposition to try and take a kick that they ultimately know is not there.
Port Adelaide will be looking at Zach Butters now and going, okay, how do we get him into the game? Because Mullen's been brilliant in his defensive role.
He looks a little forlorn type of figure there, doesn't he? He's a gun. He's a general to this team. He's just an absolute star. But he is the archetype of the specific species of player that Oisin Mullins has been born to take down. So they've got to find a way. I would think even just throw him to a wing, try and get space around him a little bit for a start and run off him.
Plenty of news flying around as well throughout this round of football, and to bring in this afternoon, we say good afternoon to David Zeta.
Hello, Brad. It was an unbelievable game, an unbelievable finish at Marvel Stadium. Not as unbelievable as last week's, but ultimately the same result. St Kilda has defeated North Melbourne this time around. There's back-to-back wins now for the Saints for the first time since April. So, as I said, not as epic as last week's match. They did trail by 19 points early in the second term, but the Saints got back in front and then had to hold off a fast-finishing North Melbourne. The Sion Miller, the man you saw on screen just before, was unbelievable yet again. No goals this time, but 36 disposals and 9 score involvements. Everyone in footy wants to know what he's doing next year. Is he staying with St Kilda or is he returning to South Australia? He spoke to Sarah Jones a short time ago. This is what he had to say moments ago.
Saints fans are desperate to know whether your future lies here at the club. Are you getting closer to a decision?
Yeah, I'll sort that out with the club and manager, but going about my business, playing footy at the moment, so that come in due time.
And all the attention and the focus that's coming with it. I mean, I imagine people are asking you when you're going to get your coffee and when you're just walking the streets of Melbourne. How are you managing to play such top-class football while having all this distraction on you?
I've got great support. The boys all support me here, and I've got a supportive family and good friends, and so I just try to focus on my footy and obviously let the footy do the talking, and the manager will sort that out.
There you go. So straight from the mouth of the player involved. We wait and see what decision he makes. Everyone's waiting on it now. Also, Jack Steele was the sub for the Saints. An interesting one there, but they're confident he'll be ready to go for game 200 next week. They were just managing him this week and managing his loads. And Paul Curtis, he may potentially have to come out of the side next week. That depends on how this lands with the MRO. So a bit of pushing and shoving with Angus Hastie here, you see. And then there was a strike just before the halftime or quarter time siren rather, where he got taken from the ground, and then Angus Hastie had to spend a fair bit of time on the sideline. So if it's open hand, it could potentially just be a fixed financial sanction. It really comes down to the level of impact here and what sort of strike this was. So Paul Curtis will be nervously awaiting the MRO findings, not for the first time this season. They've got the Giants next week. There was also a Toby Nankervis decision. We're just waiting on the outcome from the MRO. That umpire incident, the umpire contact made here. Now, I don't know what else Toby Nankervis could have done here. He had his eyes on the ball at all times. So hopefully there's no case to answer for him. Now, I don't know if that's what the AFL wants to see stamped out of the game, but certainly Greg Swan may have to even more intensely consider whether the bounce still has a place in footy. I'm sure that discussion will be had along with many others. But a thrilling finish under the roof at Marvel Stadium. Still plenty of footy, though, on Sunday, Dwayne.
Absolutely. David Zeta in the newsroom. Footy never stops on Fox Footy. Jeremy Cameron's got 4 for the game, 73 for the season. Port Adelaide had the task in the second half, and the Oz Kickers, in the meantime, having some fun in the sun. Go nowhere. Geelong 8-11, Port Adelaide 4-5. Big second half to come at the Cattery.
All right, let's get back to the stats because we're only 5 minutes out from the bounce of the ball for the second half here. Let's head on back there and you can check out your favourite players, of course. It's only about half an hour away before the next game starts, but we'll finish this game before we head on over to the Freo-Carlton game. Let's just roll down and we can have a look at some of the team stats as well. Paddy Dangerfield, 7 kicks, 7 disposals, 3 kicks, 4 handballs, 1 goal for Paddy Alirali, just the 7 touches. Let's keep rolling down. Who we got? Jeremy Cameron, as we said, 6 touches, 6 kicks. They're looking for him at every opportunity. On 73 goals, we just saw there, 73 goals. So just 27 away from the magical 100. And look, you know what? You'd nearly predict. There's Zach Butters there, absolutely getting poleaxed today. Just the 5 touches, 3 kicks, 2 handballs, 3 clearances. One of those was from a kick out. So he's really having a quiet day. Needs to lift. Yeah, I think Jeremy Cameron, what's he, 27 away? I think he'll bag a few more. And, of course, come the finals, I think he might actually kick his 100 goal for the season during the finals, Addy G. That'll be exciting for all the Geelong supporters out there. Absolutely. It's 26 disposals the Cats' way so far up until half-time. They're certainly liking the kicking more. There we go. They're plus 38 in the kicks. Port Adelaide doing more of the handball, plus 12. They're inside 50s, just a demolition here. 37 inside 50s to 15. Geelong, 19 scoring shots, 37 inside 50s. Port Adelaide, only 15. 15 inside 50s. That's how well Geelong are going. Normally, 25 is their season average up until half-time of 50 for Port Adelaide. Geelong defence doing exceptional. I'll tell you what, Port Adelaide struggled to get out of their back line there. That's how well the Cats were going in that second term. Disposal efficiency, well, both teams actually reasonably low there up until half-time, 65% for both. Efficiency inside 50, reasonably good for both teams, 56, 53. Free kick count, 8 to 10. Port Adelaide got a couple extra there, but look, I think this has been pretty well umpired, today's game, letting the game flow on. That's what we love to see. There we go. The hit-outs, Port Adelaide, well, I tell you what, for all the hit-outs there in front, plus 16, they're not getting the result in the clearances. Centre clearances all tied up at 6 apiece. Stoppage clearances, Cats by 3 there. So, tell you what, when you get the hit-outs, you want to get your hit-outs to advantage, and that's certainly not what's happening. Contested possessions, both teams contesting the ball well above season average. Uncontested, Geelong there by 25. As I said, they were doing a little bit of kicking backwards, just keeping possession of the ball, and you'll see that in the marking tally coming up. Turnovers a little bit higher for both teams. As we see in the marks department, 63-27, a lot of chipping around for the Cats, but just controlling the ball, ball in hand possession, time in possession, just steadied the game down a bit when Port Adelaide were going really, really well. Marks inside 50 though, however, oh well, Geelong, they are just doing the job again. 11 inside 50s, folks, to just the 2 for Port Adelaide. Geelong finding their targets really, really well, composing themselves and getting the job done when they're going inside 50. Looking at the tackle count, great to see both teams got the tackle count up, pressure up, 43-47. Tackles inside 50 though, Geelong a lot more fierce inside their forward 50, 11-5. Absolutely fantastic. Tell you what, we're only a minute and a bit away from the bounce of the ball for the second half. Should be an absolutely fantastic. Don't forget, the other game was played 1-1. And of course, that game was won by the Saints, who got up 11-12, 78, defeating North Melbourne 10-9, 69. A close game over there at Marvel Stadium, but the Saints, 2 in a row, finally got 2 in a row. There we go. Can they make it 3 next week? We'll see when that happens. Who knows? There we go. All right, we are just a minute out from the bounce of the ball. Hey, just to let the folks know out there who these teams are playing next week for the Cats and Port Adelaide. Next week, next Friday night football, Geelong play again at home, GMHBA Stadium. They're taking on Essendon. So we expect another big win there for the Cats next Friday night. And of course, Port Adelaide, well, they get a home game over there at Adelaide Oval. Who do they play? They play the Fremantle Dockers. They play Adrian's Flag Mantle. Port Adelaide taking on Fremantle next week over there at Adelaide Oval. Saturday night football. Should be a pretty good game. And tell you what, that's going to be a tough game for Freo over there. I'll tell you what, when you get to this section of the season, you've got to win. The good teams need to stand up. All right, folks. Hey, that's enough of me from halftime chit chat. Let's head back down to the action. It's the Cats by 30 points as we go into the bounce of the ball. Is it right? Porter's going to get flogged by 100 points for sure. Hey, you just never know. Anything's possible. All right, let's head back down to the action for the bounce of the ball for the third quarter, where it's the Cats by 30 points.
Yeah, big crowd in. Last pieces of sunshine being taken over by the shadows on a beautiful afternoon. Mullen feeds a handball back. Manor close. Unselfish to Neil. And he was overshadowed last week. He played well last week. Yeah. Shannon Neil kicked 4 goals, 1 against North Melbourne. The reason we haven't talked about it a lot is because Jeremy Cameron kicked 11-1.
Asheen Mullen was huge out of that centre bounce then. He knocked over Sweetie to start with, regained his feet, followed up and ran away from Zach Butters. He's almost killed Zach's will to compete here today.
And Brad Johnson calls it Shannon Avenue. Straight out of the middle to Shannon Neil.
Well, it's one of the main roads here in Geelong. Wayne and Tom Hawkins, well, they're off his highway and now they're shooting down Shannon Avenue, and it's working well for him. You know, now he's got 18 goals in the last 7 weeks, so he's playing excellent footy. And I think the competition need to take a close look at Manor, because he is having some sort of season, and what he's doing to set the Cats up forward of centre has been sensational.
He's 27 years of age, Sean Manor, playing game 29. They're out there, aren't they?
Yep.
Pick 36, 2023 draft, mature age recruit. Start for Werribee in the grand final. Talked about it a bit, but it's getting better. Stanley and Sweet to go at it again. Well, the umpire recall that. He will. A lot of talk about the bounce again this week with the big sandwich between Nankervis, Witts, and the umpire going down yesterday. It might be on its way out the bounce. We think holding the ball. What a great tackle. Myers goes straight down the spine. Maybe Shannon Avenue again. Here he goes. Couldn't get there. Jones in the hole. Brilliant grab in front of him.
He's going to be brave right to the very end, isn't he? He's a ripper.
Not to require. Burgoyne's waiting out for it.
What a kick.
Yeah.
He coughed that one up from the full back, but kicking in the second quarter, but he's a stunning user of the footy.
Leah to Richards. Berry. Turns it, goes inside. Just pops it. Winds one in the middle of 3 Cats. It was a good kick. And now inside 50 McEntee. And he took that half step. Cuts him some slack.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've been semi-critical or assessing with any sort of critical nature today is deep in defence for the Cats. Everything else working as well as it can, but deep in defence they've given up some easy shots.
McEntee pulls that to the near side. Will they be able to send someone else back there with Charlie Curnow joining the club next? We talked about it.
Okay, which one do you send back?
That's right. That's the hard part. Ball out wide and knocked out of play. Chris Scott's been amazing. 15th season as Geelong coach for Chris Scott. 2 premierships. Geelong's only missed finals 2 times in his 14 years at the helm so far, so they're on track for 13 of 15. Cattery's buzzing again. Butters to Liddy. And Jack Henry, solid as ever.
Yeah, that's experience there. Ollie Lord has to learn that when he feels that push coming, you can't jump. You have to lock in, dig your stops into the ground and push back hard against that shove forward.
So maybe Cam Guthrie unavailable. Duncan could be available come the finals. Ollie Henry's another option. They do have a few hovering on the fringes. Stewart.
They're in a good spot.
They are.
That's the thing about, you mentioned Scotty before, he has this happy knack of keeping everything at the cutting edge of football, yet making it like a local club environment. Guys get time off if they really need it, and they love playing here.
Yeah, you're spot on. So Myers, it's got Neil long, he sits it up for Neil to take the big screamer.
Just a little unsettling touch on Aliir from behind, and then that tenses him up and locks his body, and he doesn't jump at the footy. Just watch the early touch there, and that's why he pushes back into it. And Big Shannon just slides past for an aerial grab, contested mark. He's filling up a fair bit of that camera view, isn't he?
Yes.
There's a lot of him.
Big unit. Directly out. He's got 2 now. Now they put a few together.
Wasn't the purest kick from Brian Myers this afternoon. Shannon Neal had to do everything possible to get to the drop of it. Great mark by Danger, contested mark. Handball received to Myers, pops it a little bit higher than he would have liked, but it allowed Neal to come back.
They're actually well covered, Port Adelaide.
Yep.
So Ali's got him in his sights there, so he should know. Right, I've got support. He should go back and body check him there and allow his teammate to go. But Ali is so much an intercept player himself, it's almost foreign to him to body check and let the other player go at it. Really good mark.
You mentioned the casual nature of Geelong, like a country club in a way, and Chris Scott. The last loss the Cats had were to the Giants. Chris Scott stayed in Sydney, took his golf clubs up, had a round of golf up there the next day after that loss, just to put the loss into perspective before he came back and
no panic.
Got things ready for this roll of wins they've had since then. Squeezed out of the middle by Mead, but he missed his target. Holmes, Manor, Guthrie off half-back, and here they go again. Holmes, Spears to Stengel. Can't mark it. Mullen. Will he go for home here? He goes for close. Who's got it? Or did he juggle it over the behind line? I think they're going to check it.
Dave Roden has said, no, it's a mark. He was confident again.
So you'll take a few seconds here. I watched the Sheen Mullen and Butters. He's killed Butters' will to actually chase him. He let him get in. He led him for a 30 or 40 metre dash. And I reckon if you lined the two of them up and said, have a sprint to the line, at worst, they'd be neck and neck. But I'd tip Butters. He's in his head now completely.
Farrell wide. So Thatcher. When they recruited Sheen Mullen, Zach Toohey, fellow Irishman who played with him, said that he was the Nick Dacos of Ireland. That's how good he was. The best player in Ireland, young player in Ireland at the time. He's starting to put a good career together, as has O'Connor. Got a good history with their Irish players. Neil, Long, Dangerfield, Farrell.
Oh, it's too big.
Yeah.
Just too big. Once he got the big frame in front, Farrell was just trying everything possible to create the spoil.
Well, Paddy's a midfielder around the 188, 189 mark, and I know we don't use the weights anymore, but I stood next to him. We all stand next to him. He'd be 94 kilos, 95. Kane Farrell's around 183 and 83. It's a key forward against their back pocket, isn't it?
Also get a bit of an insight with the mindset. So Butters has just run from the ground to have a rest. He's been bumped by 3 Cats players.
Yeah.
Mullen's just jogged from the ground following him. Not one person has touched him. He's going to leave the ground bruise-free today, Mullen. No support for Butters at all at ground level.
It's a really good pickup.
It has unravelled for Port Adelaide this year. There's no doubt about that. They were contenders last year, top 2 last year.
But there were moments when they were emotionally invested in certain games where they probably would have beaten just about anyone.
DeConing gets on the end of the Manor handball to Jeremy. Almost an arm chop. Farrell just gets it away and makes it somebody else's problem. Henry motors it back in the Dangerfield direction, and he has the stretch. He's going to side it from here.
He has. I think it was an arm chop to Cameron. He's still talking to the umpire about it. What do we got here?
The chaos ball. Almost kicked that to Berry so it could be tackled. Smith. Bowes moonwalks his way out of trouble. Floats it. Close. 3, 4, 5 Port Adelaide players around him. And they weren't even close. They're close.
This is... Right now, this moment, I know it's a fair gap in the game.
Sean Pease now. It's getting ugly for those watching on TV. It's enjoyable for those here at the venue.
There's a gap in the game. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cats, what have we got left in this quarter, and there's another quarter, they can kick another 12 goals here.
Yeah, it's got that feel about it. So it's back on Port Adelaide. They had, the first quarter, their pressure was 225. They need to get back to some sort of pressure because at the moment, Geelong are just walking through them.
But the other thing is, the last 3 repulsions out of defensive 50, there hasn't even been an attempt at Port Adelaide Power system to get the ball out. It's just been hack it out, making somebody else's problem for 20 seconds before it comes back in. Darcy Byrne-Jones, very good player. Not his best performance overhead. I know he's not renowned for taking high marks, but he's been outmarked by similar-sized men 3 times today.
Blitzards into the ruck now against Sweets. They can change it up, the Cats as well. Richards rolls it inside 50. Henry and Lord a little tap down through the traffic. Georgiades has hardly been sighted. Gets himself a free. She was a late call by the umpire way off the play. They need a break.
Well, they get it here. Hasn't had much of the footy. Georgiades this afternoon, just the 5 touches, 1 point so far.
Very late call.
And from a long way back as well.
Out, yeah.
He was in the corridor. Oh, well, there you go. That tells you the pressure they're under. He's having a giggle with the crowd there. Reece Stanley.
One goal and the loss to the Crows last week, that demolition job. And that'll bend back perfectly. They needed that. Goal 49 for the season for Mitch Georgiades.
Like the way that Ollie Lord came out at it again. He's got a real good spine about him. He's charges at it, keeps it in front, bang. Just kind of doesn't get the right handball, correct handball away, but he's a competitor. And that Tom Atkins on Mitch Georgiades.
Two different teams at the moment. Geelong's coming off a massive 101-point win over North Melbourne. Port Adelaide's coming off an enormous 98-point loss to Adelaide.
So Butters is in without Shane Mullins.
He's stuck on the bench, Derm. He's standing on the bench trying to get back out there, but he can't.
You watch him explode this time.
Whitlock against Blitzars. There's a mismatch. Blitzars in game 289. Whitlock in game 1. Tough task there. Neil had it, lost it. It spills. Martin's now on. So the sub's now on. We'll get an update from Dal on that shortly. Smith straight up in the air. Jezza stays down. Neil goes and gets it.
I think it went
raffle between the two.
It was. I think it went high, but I'm not sure it went 15. That's what's being asked at the moment. But Neil was the only one who wanted it. It's gone high. Would you have paid it to him?
Oh, barely.
So that's one thing the umpires don't tend to overrule each other on. No, that wasn't 15. Play on. So starting to get a
He's pulled that.
good quarter together. Shannon Neal as we head back down to Nick Dalsato.
Yeah, we do have confirmation on the bench. So Jack Martin is into the game for game number 8 of the season for the Cats, and Reece Stanley is the player that will give way. No injury concern, just being managed as a tactical sub.
Yes, as you said, when he came off, he was having a giggle and a laugh with the support crew.
See if he has a souvlaki and sends the whole world in a meltdown like Patrick Dangerfield did last week.
That's better by
Inside to Me. Got it. To Boak. Got it. Handball, missed the target, gets it back again. Darcy Byrne-Jones, little fumble. Neil gets back, half back to lend a hand. Blitzar's down the ruck. Atkins. Neil. Wide to that Butters-Smith battle. And Butters taken out illegally. Feeds it to Lynn. To Boak. Georgiades leads to the pocket hard, and it's rewarded. He's number 1 for marks inside 50 on the lead. Mitch Georgiades, there had to be a wake up to that.
Well, Butters did well because I thought he would have been brought back around him behind the mark.
Oh, that's a bad sign
That
as
is,
well.
that's not great.
Chase Burgoyne with the trainers. For goal number 50 for the season for Mitch Georgiades. Quick exit, the idea. Alir got a fist on it, knocked it down and gets it back for his trouble. Sends it inside 50 towards Williams. Started back, playing forward. And again, kicked 7 goals in the sample a few weeks ago, playing as forward, but yet to kick an AFL goal. Henry. Handoff. Humphries setting it up. Dempsey got there late. Advantage played. Mama can go. It's got Neil and Cameron inside 50. He went short to Stengel instead. Now the leads come. Sends it long. Neil Armstrong. He got up there big time.
So Jeremy Cameron, I know they've been putting it on a platter for him today, but when we see the replay here, Jeremy was used as a diversionary here. Watch him. He puts his... Oh, that's the overall result, the end of it. Jeremy puts the hand up and points to lead up the field. With that, the knowledge, the extra for Port Adelaide goes, they're wanting to feed Jeremy. I'm going there. He takes 2, and Shannon Neal Big Shannon gets the easy jump over the back.
Jeremy has 4. Shannon has 3.
Been a great quarter by Shannon Neal.
He's got tequila going as he
has.
He has 3 goals, 1 for the quarter, 6 disposals, leading the way for the Cats.
So we see just left-hand side of your screen. Will we creep in with this? Yeah, see, there's Jeremy. He's come up and he cannot get back quick enough, Zerk Thatcher, to block that space. The middle of the ground, Jeremy, and I think it's Farrell chases him out there. And see, Zerk Thatcher even wants to go there as well. And that makes... Well, he's taken 2.5 players then, Jeremy.
All going to plan now for the Cats. Headed for the 4 points, headed for the percentage boost. And could be the difference between them finishing in top 2, top 4. Sweet, flicks it out, Drew. Turns and floats it. Georgiades.
Great spoil.
Flew. Stewart. Little chip kick wide from O'Connor to Myers. Got it in the hands of the best user. And he just chips it. To Bose on the move. Manor. Oh, gee, almost too casual. But still got time to recover. Manor gets it back from Myers. Sends it long. Neal might fly again. Stayed down. Aaliyah. Burn-Jones.
We're due for a bit of Ollie Dempsey hang time over the back in the goal square at some stage.
Well, Stewart. Flies. Holmes. Here's Dempsey on cue for you, Derm. Maybe a gather, spin and goal. Or a chip to Martin, who dives. And he took the gully catch.
Don't discount Jeremy Cameron on the lead from here. he's making out he's not... Yeah. Oh, it pops up to his advantage. He's making out he's not interested, Jeremy, but don't read into that.
An amazing bit of luck maybe for Jack Martin. He kind of got kicked off the Titanic. And here he is, he's sailing for the Cats this season after being delisted. And he joins the party. Jack Martin.
Good player. He's, since coming into the Cat side, has shown that he's not too far away from being back to the top level football that he can play consistently at AFL level. He's a smart operator. And you can see the space that he's in here. And once again, Butters had an opportunity to close things up there and just was watching rather than looking to go into that defensive profile quicker.
How many times they've been inside forward 50 today? That's the 11th for this quarter. And overall, we're not even at three-quarter time. They're at 48 inside 50s. They might be a bit behind for what they should be.
It almost seems like he's having some fun in the ruck now as a little change-up from the usual. Myers to Holmes, and he puts the speed on. There is vapor trail. Ollie can't keep up. He goes long and strong to close. Hands to Martin. 2 in a minute for Jack.
It's a classy front square right there.
It is. I mean, that's it. You're seeing that. I'm seeing how good Holmes is.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm also full of sympathy for Ollie Wines. I mean, because of the matchups, he's been asked to take a mixture of Max Holmes and Bailey Smith today, and he's going to beat them when the ball's below the knees in the scrimmage, but as soon as it gets width on it, he's out of that race.
Yep. Takes it behind the contest, I should say, from Martin, but just the way that he carved out the contest. He's looking to mark that first, Jack Martin. He's an aerial player, so he's looking to mark first, thinking, no, I'm not going to get there, reading it off hands nicely.
I'd give Ollie a rest after that. That might cook him for the next 7 or 8 minutes.
Holmes is up to 599 metres in this game, metres gained.
Missed Geelong's 2023 flag, Max Holmes with the hamstring.
That's right.
And he's on a mission. Look at this.
He's gone again.
Off he goes again. There in his rooster tail of dust every time he gets the ball and goes. To Smith. Martin. This is unbelievable. So Jack Martin comes on as the sub and might kick 3 in 3 minutes.
That's it. Yeah, that's a training drill.
So
It's beautiful
they
to
were
watch.
blown away by a record margin last week. The biggest ever showdown loss for Port Adelaide last week, the 98-point loss. They kicked their worst ever score in a showdown, Port Adelaide, and they're in danger of being blown away here. Martin for his third. He loves it. And they love him.
Remember when they were on 10 goals and I said they might kick another 12 from here? Can I revise that? They might go bigger.
What an effort from Jack Martin to come on a sub and then get into the game as quick as he has. And this one's on the lead, so he's done it all so far with the 3 goals that he's kicked. They've all been different.
Yeah, they've given Ollie a breather now. I'm feeling for Ollie.
Jeremy Cameron's just making his way back onto.
You know what, Jeremy's sitting there going, those 3 should have been mine. Well played, Jack Martin.
And Doom, about 5 minutes ago, we saw Burgoyne come from the ground limping. We haven't had confirmation exactly why, but he has been subbed out of the game.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson will get his opportunity.
I've liked the look of Hugh Jackson this year. He's a lovely left foot, got a nice action.
Oh, lets that roll. Landed outside the circle, but it was an equal competition. Drew short. Through the legs of Georgiades to Koning. Hands it up, Bowes. Chip kick on the outside of the boot was good.
See that
kick to Humphries.
That kick by Willem Drew, he's a good player. He's got to make that better. We've seen a couple of his kicks not being to advantage of his teammates.
Holmes full of run. To Smith full of run. To Dangerfield full of run. I have put the hammer down here, the Cats. Danger turns and goes. Not again. Oh, you're kidding. You're going to get sick of the Macarena, Durham.
No, that's already happened.
We're up to the 3rd verse. He's on fire. How good is this?
That's actually a good grab.
What about the passage? The entire passage was great from Koenig to Humphries, and then the switch and what was created for the Catters.
That entire movement of the ball shows the foot speed they have, what they've injected into this club over the last 3 or 4 years.
So Neil's kicked 3 for the quarter, and Martin's kicked 4 for the quarter.
It's looming ugly. Or beautiful, depending on which side the fence you sit. Good take. He got that mini half sit right, so you got pace to get away there. Bailey Smith drops the hammer, takes 6 paces, goes, danger, just as soon as you let me go, bang, I'm off. I want the right foot, and that's about as close to goal as I can kick that. So he drills it in there. Everything's at speed and tempo.
I love this kick inside 50 from Danger.
Thanks, guys.
Nice. There's a beautiful unselfishness for the Cats as well, isn't there? They can feel a moment. So Dangerfield fed that to Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's fed down or passed down through the eras. I mean, Tom Hawkins was like that as well. He'd feed off and give goals easily.
And that tells the tale. Martin's kicked the last 4. Myers caught, tried to spin out of a jam. And again, Blitzar's having some fun in the ruck. So they feed that to O'Connor, even though he was hot. Just back him into one-on-one. Stole him back again. They put the Wolverine out there, Hugh Jackson. They can't hit a target. Off hands. And free kick. Lord, he kicks this, it'll be 50.
So he should have honoured the lead by Ollie Lord then.
Myers. Still 3 minutes and a whole quarter of footy for this crowd to enjoy.
Oh, one in the guts. That hurts.
Dangerfield to meet. Dangerfield got up. He's holding that ball like a tennis ball. Humphries. Sweet gets back in the hole. Dangerfield thought he had it. Good attack from O'Sullivan. Close. Humphries. Blitzarves. Faked it. Went to Bowes. Didn't work. Richards. Drew. Georgiades, but there's no one to go too long. Had to pull it short. Berry crushed. He'll get the free against the Koenig. Tom Stewart stalking this, gets there, made the commitment. Lorenz one way, Stewart the other, and Stewart took a straighter line. Dempsey.
He's
It's a Dangerfield on the 1-2.
Almost got it.
He spent danger.
That's old school as well, going to your best player in a 1-on-2, thinking he'll beat those two. Lord. Wines back on after arrest. Darcy Byrne-Jones.
Yeah, Georgiana's just waiting for the final tiny little opening for a lead.
Here he is on the lead, gets there, but O'Sullivan knew exactly what was up. Richards feeds it back, sweet. Half smothered, close. And there's open space now for Bowes if they want to run the corridor. Hands it to Stengel. Wrapped up by Sin. Got a handball up.
Jeremy's
close. Jeremy. Ali's with him. Jez is up. Ball to Dangerfield. Spins and goes. And Holmes. The right spot. The right time. It's a clinic.
Their support in the contest has been fantastic today. The Cats through the middle of the ground there. The ball's bobbling around. Porto to make a tackle, but it's the easy feed because there's another 3 Cats supporting the contest.
You just had to hit to the middle one, and if you got it wrong, one of the either two on the outside.
So Sin does the right thing. Great tackle on Stengel, but then look at the support on the inside. It wasn't a great kick by close. Jeremy Cameron was out the back, had to come back in the footy. Danger keeps his feet.
So right now you're talking about the songs they're playing, Dwayne. They should be playing Sweet Georgie Brown from the Harlem Globetrotters at the moment. They are putting on a Globetrotters type exhibition in this quarter.
Good crowd in. There'll be a few locals come late. Was often the thing. Get in for free after three-quarter time.
Yes.
9 goals free for the quarter.
Can you still get in for free after three-quarter time?
Actually, that's a really good call.
Once upon a time, that was the thing you'd had to do when you
Yes, I think you
before you
can.
get a
They're
ticket.
not finished.
Or get along. Now's a good time to get here. Stewart heads out wide. Stengel looks around. Zerk-Thatcher, he knocked it down to Williams. Central kick is good. Mead. Overcooked it. Now it's trouble again. Holmes stripped by Butters. Feeds it on. Myers rolls it away. Seconds keep ticking. O'Connor outside. Here we go. Well, a kick at 5th for the quarter. He too unselfish and winds. Cuts it off, back outside.
Had to punch it. Had to punch the ball low on the kick.
O'Sullivan launches. Cameron up on the reverse fly for the big mark. Still alive, flicked over the head. Smother. Seconds keep ticking. Jazza lurking. Bowes gets there. Jazza was grabbed, didn't have it. Umpire screamed for a free. And the umpire shakes it off. He shook it off.
Peter Bales.
This is fun at the Cattery. 17-14, 116 to 5-7-37. The bounce is always fun. Great to have your company wherever you're watching on Fox Footy. And it doesn't end when the live footy ends.
Well, folks. Rubes, how you doing? Tino's still in the house, shady. Hey, Paul, what's going on, Squire? What's going on? A few blowouts this weekend here. There certainly was. I know, some interesting ordinary footy going on. Some of the top sides not playing up to their standard. But I'll tell you what, the Geelong Cats, they're playing above standard. They are on fire. 17-14, 116. Port Adelaide, 5-7-37. Oh, what's that? 63, 79 points at three-quarter time. We're going for 100. Someone in the live chat said about 100. Was that Stephen? Was that Stephen or WA Footy Kid? Something about it could be a 100-point margin. Even a quarter time. Oh, certainly spot on. Tell you what, Port Adelaide, 1 goal, 2 in that third term. Geelong Cats, 9 goals, 3 if you don't mind umpire, that was an absolute display of football by the Geelong Cats there. Port Adelaide, look, they're just onlookers in this game at present time. They are just onlookers. Geelong Cats got in all the tricks. Danger's holding the ball in one hand. He's up and over and around and about. Tell you what, Neil's slotting a few goals. Everyone else is slotting a few goals. They're having party out there today at GMHBA Stadium. Geelong on fire. They're going to go on for a big victory here. Hey, let's just have a look at some of the goal scorers because we've had plenty of goals by the Cats in that term. Of course, Jack Martin, Jeremy Cameron at EG, both on 4 goals up to three-quarter time. Holy Toledo. Shannon Neal's kicked 3. Maxie Holmes kicked 2. Graham Myers, Paddy Danger, Brad Close, Jack Bowers, all singles for the Cats. Hasn't really changed for Port Adelaide. Will Lorenz, Ollie Lord, George Yardas, Boak and Berry have kicked a goal. Absolutely spot on. Of course, over there, the game has started at Optus Stadium in Perth. 9 minutes into the opening term, it's Carlton, 2 straight goals, 12. Freo yet to score. Interesting. Maxie Holmes, though, I tell you what, he's putting a display on. Continues to top the table on the disposal count. 26 and on top. 20 kicks, 6 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles, 3 clearances, 2 goals. Goal assist to Danger, helping Maxie Holmes with his 2. Fantastic. Graham Myers, Bailey Smith, 25 and 23, going about their job really well. Ollie Wines continues to lead the way for Port Adelaide on 25 clearances, 6 kicks, 14 handballs, doing well. And of course, as you see, the top 7 out of the 8 are all Geelong players. Lawson Humphries on 20, Manar 19, Bales 19, Tommy Stewart on 18. There we go. I tell you what, Paddy Dangerfield looks pretty sharp out there on his 15, 7 and 8 with his 1 goal, 1. And not much to say for the Port Adelaide players. They're just getting a towel up. Jace Burgoyne went off. He looked like he was injured. We'll see if he's back on the ground at in the final term. There we go. We're just rolling down there. Shannon Neal, 9 disposals, 7 kicks, 3 goals, 1. Come out like a train. Slotted those goals. Zach Butters there. Look, he's right down there. That's uncharacteristic of Zach Butters for Port Adelaide. Down there on 7 possessions, 4 kicks, 3 handballs. That is it. Of course, Jeremy Cameron's down there. 6 disposals, 6 kicks, but he's kicked 4 goals, 1. There we go. I tell you what, he just stood back and let the other fellas take the limelight in that third term. I tell you what, Cats on fire. Hey, let's just have a look at the AFL live ladder at the moment. Geelong continue to build their percentage, 138.7. 5.4 behind Adelaide Crows. Getting closer. That could be vital come the end of the home and away season. I think Geelong have still got some big wins in hand, so their percentage might boost. Cement themselves in 4th spot. Have the Geelong Cats looking great for the run home. All right, let's head back down to the ground for the final quarter here, where the Cats might end up winning by 100. Anyway, let's head back down to the final quarter. They'll take us into the bounce of the ball. We're only 30 seconds away. It's the Cats by a huge margin.
Critical of him when he first came in to this side a couple of months ago. He didn't seem to cover the ground that well. He looks to be going pretty well. They're not asking him to run hard yards right now, but he's moving a lot better than when he first came in.
So Jack Martin came on as the sub. They won't be subbing Patrick Dangerfield off today then. Reece Stanley is the guy who's off. To tell us a little bit more about it is Nick D'Alessandro.
Well, what an incredible third quarter that was, Dwayne. An absolute flex by the Cats. They were superb in all phases of the game. Absolutely controlled it. It's been like a party down here, particularly after quarter time. Absolutely blowing Port Adelaide out of the water. Now, you mentioned about Dangerfield not getting subbed off. Well, I think I'm going to have to fill his space. I'm going to be the Patrick Dangerfield in this very last quarter. That is what you do on a Sunday arvo when things are going really well.
Good gag.
Yes. Fantastic guy for you.
Well done. Good crossed out.
Magnificent.
How good is that?
We've got a few good eaters at Fox, haven't we? Yeah.
They did send people into meltdown last week. What are you allowed to eat on the bench then if you're subbed off? Lolly snakes,
Whatever
yes.
you like.
Fruit, yes.
Subbed off.
Steve Lucky, no. Not like he cracked a beer. And Nick D'Alessandro downstairs Having some fun, as the Cats fans here are. 17-14, 116 to 5-7-37 with a quarter to play. Sun fading on a magnificent afternoon in country Victoria.
Can ask a lot of Zach Butters here. I know he can get knocked around and it's a tough afternoon, but he's got to dig in here. He has to lead from the front with effort.
And he's in a bumping show with Mullen as this ball's bounced. Bitzel, sweet, ball knocked down through the legs of McEntee. Good clean pick on Ryan Myers, but he had it picked from his grasp. Liddy down the spine. Nice delivery. Whitlock really went for the chest mark. Good spoil.
Great
spoil.
Roll. Now, that was a really interesting ploy. See where the ball feigned out to the wing from the centre circle? All three Port target forwards were to the far side of the spine of the ground, leaving this side really open, and that's where the kick went to an open lead.
Aaliyah gets back, tries to spoil it down to Boak. Has success. Wines, Boak. Two of their all-time greats trying to stop this rot. Farrell pulled that kick to Liddy late. Sat it on his head, though. Smith put the fist away. Sin to mop it all up. He's got Drew as the short. Goes with the outside of the boot, Banana. Butters leads and is rewarded. Machine Mullen shutting down. And it's alive again for the Cats. Knock on from close. Got it to Manor. 4 Port players around him. Liddy. Farrell. Wines. Butters. Burnt-Jones.
Close is still down and sore behind plate.
Drew slams it long. Can Whitlock get there? He can't. Did pretty well, O'Sullivan, put it to grass. And Whitlock lays a good tackle.
You saw that DeConey just moved Whitlock sideways before the ball got there. So the kid's obviously got some talent.
Full Whitlock family in the house. They're from Shepparton. Driven down for the debut for Jack. Crowd screaming for ball, don't get it.
He's got to learn how to absorb that contact, break the contact, and then get 2-3 steps into where he can launch from.
Drew got the kick away and can't bend it around enough.
At league level, they're not going to allow you just your natural see the ball, run to the ball, launch to it. You got to do a lot of hard work, 2-3 seconds before it lands.
DeConey. Wide to Dempsey.
Look at that
star winner from last season. Goes back to Jack Martin. Could get back-to-back rising stars. The way O'Sullivan's playing. He's got a few contenders with him fighting that fight in the last few weeks of the season. Myers, Smith, little 1-2. Dangerfield couldn't take the mark.
See Holmes there.
With Humphreys.
See Holmes on screen. Ollie Wines has chased him everywhere. He's going to sleep so well tonight, Ollie Wines. He's not built for endurance running, but he's having to chase Max Holmes.
Liddy. Georgiades. McEntee. So Georgiades has a chance to take this on with Liddy being hunted down though and dragged down by Brian Myers.
They shut it down so well, don't they?
Yeah, they have all afternoon.
In between the two arcs, their defence of the moving ball from the opposition has been superb.
He'll play his 150th game next week, Brian Myers. Putting together a really good career now. McEntee to Liddy. Whitlock's on the move. DeConey couldn't scoop and go, but he's got friends. O'Sullivan. Off hands. Drew. Butters. He's got away from Machine Mullen that time. Liddy to Wines. Will he have a ping? Opens it up central and finds the sliding Georgiades.
See, Georgiades' game is in good condition, isn't it? He's playing in a team. The ball's gone inside forward 50. What have we got in there, Bradley? 20?
This quarter, they've only gone in 26 times for the game. 26 times for the game. So, and yet this quarter.
Yet you feel like he's been a viable option on the lead every time they come forward. He's a great... He recognises the space so quickly.
Having a good year. This is for goal 50 for the year for Mitch Georgiades. He's got 1, 2 so far today.
Good kid.
And gets it home. And gets himself a consolation prize in this game at least.
Well, they've started this quarter well. Port Adelaide fighting it out, at least after a disastrous third term. 29 disposals for Cat 17. 4 inside 50s to 1. 1 goal, 1 on the board. The contest work's been better. Their run and push on the outside's been better, which was non-existent in that third term. So it's been a good response. They would have had to have been hit between the eyes at three-quarter time in regards to their work rate and their ability to push the support, the contest.
Young Connor O'Sullivan, I mean, that's a little learning curve there for him as well. Is he going to be used? I'm second-guessing that it's going to the goal square sign, 2-3 metres off him, and then he gives a 7 or 8 step lead and can't shut him down.
So Shannon Neal into the ruck now against the bigger body Sweet. Smith pounced, got it to Manor, hands to Holmes, he's had his own Sharon. Burn Jones, a juggle, a spill, close, Martin, stalking number 5, caught, ball. Wines. See if Port Adelaide play this out, make the scoreboard a little more respectable. Neil stood his ground. Big Sweetie off hands was nice. Burn Jones, McEntee, holding free. And it's downfield. Port Adelaide's Georgiades has got it. They have a shot at goal from 25 out.
Wow.
He could work his way up to second on the Coleman ladder. The way it's unfolding for Mitch. Jeremy Cameron first, Daylight second, pretty much.
Bottom of your screen.
There it is.
Yeah, De Koning, as you saw. And drills it. Gets his third.
Just made easier by the hold, so the free kick's dead in front, 20 metres out. But they look likely again on that passage of play, regardless. I know the free kick was given, but what they were able to do through Sweet here, release to Burn Jones, they were out, gone. And then obviously the free kick. So Georgiades would have been able to come back at the kick at the space, likely to get it anyway. But finally they were able to get some good corridor ball to give this man, Georgiades, a chance to work one-on-one with his direct opponent, with some speed on the ball. That's what he likes.
So he's made the total swap over now. Sam Baconing is playing on him lock, stock and barrel.
So if you join us late, Jeremy Cameron has 4 goals. That's why he's up to 73 for the season. Mitch Georgiades joins Ben King with 51. Wines out of the middle. They're going to play this out, Port Adelaide. Drew Long, Georgiades, the big fly.
Oh, great tackle. He's pinned an arm.
Sometimes they do call that holding the ball, you're right, Dirk. They make you make an attempt.
If they pin an arm and you cradle the ball all the way to the ground after being on your feet, more times than not, they'll call that holding the ball. See, that one, legitimately, no prior. Oh, there we go. The lurker. He's just lurking.
Smith and Wines go at it. Atkins somehow dispossessed. Good tackle by Big Sweetie.
He's a good study, isn't he, for perseverance, Jordan Sweet. Big fella, big long string bean. You would have seen him come in, Bradley, that
he was through AFL Academy, so good junior.
Yeah.
Elite junior coming through and spent some time.
Very lean, though, early on, wasn't he? He's turned into a genuinely big, powerful ruckman now. But perseverance.
11 games for the Dogs before crossing to Port Adelaide. This for 3 Port goals in a row. Can't complete the deal.
So you're at a club, you're the second, third string ruckman, and the club buys a new bloke to bring in, and you still go past him. Well done.
Ivan Soldo, emergency today, didn't get a game Holmes with the outside of the boot. Delightful to Manor. And now Jeremy Cameron on the tip-back lead. And suddenly it feels like 30,000 walked in. They've been waiting for a reason to cheer. This is for number 5 for Jezza.
That was so well set up. Manor just followed Jeremy's run. As soon as he got back off the mark, he found where he was. Jeremy Cameron just held the space nicely, pushed hard towards goal, doubles back.
Goals and counting for their superstar Jeremy Cameron.
Well, that's the first time this quarter term that they've been able to get the ball into some open play. The Cats has been all Port Adelaide. You just watch Jeremy Cameron flowing in the top of the screen, through the corridor, through breaks 50, and there's the space he creates for himself. Manner's all over it. He just kicks back to the space.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Well played. Look after your superstar.
And not much more Lockie Jones can do.
No, not in that situation.
He's pushed him to the outside there, thinking he might have buffered him off.
Well, you're just hoping your midfield and others have
Fill
come
back,
to get back quick enough to fill that hole, but it was just too quick. They didn't have time to do it.
He's actually played a pretty good game, Lockie Jones.
It's very good.
The ball up, flicked past the flying hands. Atkins, the tackle machine, gets a bit of his own medicine. Neil just got a handball all in time to Myers. To Atkins. Dances the dance here. Dangerfield just lurking on the wing. Sits it up. Puts it on Cameron's head. Zertacha made it his own.
Get Jeremy back on there.
To Aaliyah.
He hasn't gone over.
Yeah. So Lord engages with O'Sullivan. Good battle.
So that's a little bit of growth there from Ollie Lord. So rather than get pushed under the ball, he, as you call it, Glenn, engages him and makes sure it's at least a 50-50 contest.
Let's ask. A spin out of the jam, but span into one. There's a free kick off the ball, and it's going to Geelong. I think a few sweet nothings whispered into the ear of Blitzars there by Jordan Sweet.
I reckon if I was 110, 115 kilos, I'd give away the odd clumsy one as well. You just got to make an investment for the future sometimes, don't you?
Blitzars sits it up. Will Neil get up there? You bet he will.
That's a fantastic mark.
Got it at its highest point and was quick to play on to advantage to Manor.
All right, now this is when you glue onto Jeremy.
Yeah, we're found he's just wandering.
Well, Manor's eyes are darting.
Port Adelaide are all over it as well.
Yeah.
There is a little hole there for him to lead into if he wants to improve.
And Leah's on he's backing in there. Lockie doesn't want to let him get any sort of run there. He's going to try and get a screen here and go into it. Cat and mouse.
20 goals plus in them. The Cats, if they really put the foot down. Manor doesn't score, he does. Scrapes it in for a behind. Cameron with 5, Martin with 4, all in the third quarter. Neil with 3, all in the third. Drew. Nice pass. Mead. Oak, Farrell. So Richards and McEntee were both there. McEntee could have gone to Richards. He went a little further forward. And now Richards on the end of that chain. He's free the whole way down.
The irony in that is we're into the final quarter and the result is foregone. But that's the best ball movement they've had from a kick in all day.
Oh, good on them for trying to find something out.
Fight it out. Fight it out. Find your way.
A few players maybe playing for careers as well. Wide ball, close. Humphreys. Burn-Jones corrals him. Pressurised the kick, but maybe not enough. Little chip kick, Mon. He goes to the goal. Stengel bangs it home.
it's the prime example as to why you should be dominant on your non-dominant. Because Humphrey's there. He's the one, right? He's got an elite opposite foot.
Is he a lefty, though?
He's a righty. He's a right foot kick, and he's so good on his left. So what he's able to do here is get the ball. A couple of times he don't play, gets kicked over the top. He just continues to run on. If he can't kick on his left here, it doesn't unfold the way that it should for the Cats.
And he
gets it over
quick,
the top.
yeah.
And quick, and a beautiful chip by Mullen.
So what about Mullen there? He's never kicked an AFL goal. The team's 71 points up. He's got a right to maybe try and kick his first ever goal on AFL.
No, you have no right, Dwayne. Some blokes have no right to kick goals. That's what we keep telling them anyway. No, but some blokes, as I say, it's just not their thing. They enjoy the beauty of setting them up as much as the result themselves.
So Jack Whitlock, the debutant in the ruck against Blitzars again. 289 games against one.
Well, Dwayne, you mentioned earlier that Zach Tui compared Mullins to Nick Dacos. That means they've got Nick Dacos tagging. So they've got more pieces up their sleeve if they need it.
They have. He was going to come over here 2 years earlier, Shane Mullen, but COVID stopped that from happening. So that delayed it all. Boak inside to McEntee. Not a lot to go to, so he just goes alone. And he gets himself a consolation prize.
It was a great step by McEntee. He just created some nice space for himself to be able to get the ball around the corner. Sort of steps away from the traffic. Reads it really nicely when he finally gets the ball. Next one over the top and steps back and around. Really nice.
One of the things that it happens here, look, that ball hits the ground. This ball hits the ground.
Yeah, it puts them under pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of their handballs are just sort of in your direction. I don't care about the weight of it. If it hits the deck, it's your problem. I always thought the idea should be make it as easy as possible for your teammate to receive the ball. Well finished in the end. Just the observation is a lot of their handballs hit the deck when they shouldn't.
Whitlock knocks it to Blitzars, who just faked him out there. Mullen gets a clearance of his own. Almost manner. Butters want to go outside. Lorenz. Mead. Brilliant by Dempsey. He knew exactly what was going on with that shake and bake. Outside of the boot, unselfish to Bose. Just messing with them at the moment. Could have gone for goal again there, Manor. But decided that a set shot was better than an angled fly. Jack Bose. Cats got him for free from the Gold Coast, who also gave the Cats pick 8 to take him. And they got Jai Clark with that pick 8, who's emergency for the Cats today. It's a 20-goal day for the Cats.
Beautiful set shot from Bose. 3 goals, 1 for the quarter now. 3-3 to Port Adelaide. It's become just a little bit of a shootout in this last term.
Yeah, the problem with the shootout is that the Cats are firing 3 bullets to every one of the power.
So the Cats came into this game with a good percentage anyway, 134.2, but they should get a little percentage boost from this, the way it's transpiring. Still got a few minutes to play with. It might not be the biggest ever score against Port Adelaide, which is 24 goals, 19, 163. And for those people who are playing at home, yes, that was the grand final in 07. So there's the ladder of the stands right now. Their percentage has gone up from 134 to 138.
And the dominance reflected in the inside 50s. 31 Port Adelaide, and exactly double that, 62 to the Cats. It's a big tally. Gives you a real shot.
Flick down the Mullen again. Bloke worried out of it by Atkins, who slams it long. Neil under it, doesn't get near it. Mead cuts that off nicely. Wines. Back to me. Sat that on McEntie's head. Liddy can't handle it. Holmes can. Bowes bounces it to Close. Got his arms free. Bowes followed it up. Close. Bowes, little taps on. Sin winds. Liddy caught. They're coming at him. They can smell more blood here, the Cats. Sweet tried to flick it on. Foul edged out of it. Neil in the hole. Sends it up. Here they go again. Manor. Who does he want? Bowes will do. Can't handle it. Aaliyah gets and goes. McEntee. So Berry's got a paddock on the outer side of it. Sits. Hunted down by Humphreys. Just the hesitation step, but now Georgiades can't get near it. DeConing with the fist. Stewart riding shotgun. Guthrie.
Just should not have hesitated. When you're out like that, you've got to drop the hammer and keep going. Force you forward to actually lead into space. Young Whitlock could have come forward, made more room behind him for the full forward Georgiades, but just take that initiative, take that moment.
Crowd roaring. The Gary Abbott Terrace with this ball in takes place. Butters caught by Dempsey.
Tough day at the office for Zach Butters.
They're showing no mercy.
None.
The Cats. Little roller through the traffic. Georgiades did well. McEntee again turned outside, but they were ready for it. Touched, and DeConing kills it. Tough debut for Jack Whitlock, the 19-year-old. Picked 33 in last year's draft. Family in the house from Shepparton. Brother Matt's at North Melbourne, of course. They took him north, pick 27, the two twins. Taken at 27 and 33.
And Max Holmes has just come up for his 30th disposal. 762 metres gained as well.
Yeah, it's a fair day.
I think Jack Henry turned that into a difficult mark.
There's Holmes, make that 31. Rolls it towards Dangerfield. He might even just come off for a spell after coming through. And there's Chris Scott. I mentioned 15th season as Geelong coach, 2 premierships. Geelong's only missed finals 2 times in his 14 years under him so far. On track for 13 of 15. He's also got a winning record of 68%, the highest win percentage of the 19 AFL, VFL coaches who've coached 350 plus games. So his record is better than anybody's in essence, outside of racking up more premierships to go with it.
So you see now the Cats are all coming up and they're clearing out, leaving Jeremy Cameron 1 out.
He's got 2 for company.
Yeah.
Got Jones and Thatcher, but it's going to come to him now. So Dempsey looks up, chisels one. Neil, that'll do. The leads come, so many options. Stengel, that'll do.
It's tough, isn't it, Bradley? You're eyeing off 100 goals for the year and you now have become the decoy forward. all those pesky backman flies are buzzing around you and leaving gaps elsewhere for the small forwards to lead into.
Here's another one of the Cats' great stories, Tyson Stengel. He's looking better as September gets closer.
It is going to be interesting the next few weeks to see how the opposition really play Jeremy Cameron, because everyone's talking to him. You know, he's going to kick his 5 or 6 today. Port Adelaide are pretty strong defensively, but next week, Friday night against the Bombers, or he could get 8 to 10 again. Well, given the Bombers are going to do everything in their power to put as many numbers around Jeremy Cameron like we've seen this afternoon as well. So there could be some others like a Shannon Neal, or like we've seen Jack Martin, Tyson Stengel, these guys, danger, really get an opportunity to get themselves a handful over the next couple of weeks as well. As much as we want to see the ball in Jeremy Cameron's hands.
And they're not done yet. 21 goal afternoon. with 5 minutes to play with. Blitzar's back into the ruck. Drew can't get the clearance. Smith, little toe poke. Farrell gets back at half back. Sweet hands it to Mead. Boak.
That's on 5.
Dangerous. Close cuts it off. Dangerfield hunting it. Players everywhere. Martin shoots it on. Danger unselfish to Dempsey to join the party.
How good is Patrick Dangerfield? Right here, I love close in the contest. And
That's a 2-on-4 they've kicked it.
yeah,
With no surety of
exactly
retention.
right. But Dangerfield there, just the vision. Dempsey's been in some good spots this afternoon and been missed a couple of times. Wasn't on that occasion.
You've got to say that, Bradley. When the team's down, you can go with the mantra, and they're not going to win. You can go with the mantra, we got to experiment. We got to try things. We got to prepare for. But you still don't do dumb things. You still don't kick with no surety of retaining the footy. You don't kick to a 2 and you, and 4 of them.
88 points, the biggest margin of the game right now. Floater, brilliant grab by O'Connor. Solid as ever. So Port Adelaide coming off a 98-point thrashing last week. Might be on the end of another one this week. And the Ken Hinkley farewell tour is not ending well. Port Adelaide have never finished worse than 11th in 12 seasons under Ken so far, but they are a chance to finish 12th or 13th now off the back of this. So this could be his worst ever finish as a coach at the helm of Port Adelaide for Ken. Fremantle next week at the Adelaide Oval is their next task. Dangerfield picking it off. He's turning the clock back, Danger. High bomb. Sweet. The big guy. Burnt-Jones. Lorenz. Liddy. And he's got Jackson over the top with the handoff, although Sullivan did well. He just hedged his bets between them. Drew. Lord's long. Georgiades is long. Out in front of Lord. Spectacular kick.
He pointed for some time, Ollie Lord. That's where he wanted it. Jack Henry thought, no, I'm going to go to the direct line between the kicker and the goal face, and just played the numbers. But the kick, as you called it, was just superb. It's a pretty good lead, actually.
Yeah. It's shown some stuff today. Game 31 for Ollie Lord. As I mentioned, he's the grandson of Geelong's 1962 Brownlow medalist Alistair. The Lord twin Stewart and Alistair. Two absolute guns here at the Cattery. And Ollie has 2 for his afternoon.
Well, I like that, Dermot. Straight up the corridor in terms of his lead. So
And we have a look
that's
from
where the
behind.
space is there. So Lord, he's already going. Henry sort of just hedged his bets a little bit. But you look at the body language of Bailey Smith there. See him, he's like, get down, get down. So their reliance is on Henry to obviously stay in that space. Others are getting back to fill that hole for the Cats. There's only 3 minutes to go, so fatigue in it, but still asking and demanding that from his teammates, because it could be tight in a final in a few weeks' time that they need to fill that space.
It's a fair call, isn't it? Yeah. Don't go away from what your team plan and principles are and the way you defend. Because one thing's for sure, in finals, you might be required at the 31st minute of the fourth quarter to do that, spot on into defence.
Wide's wide. Holmes cuts it off. Saw Josh Carr and Kent side by side. Kent normally coaches from the bench, so it looks like a handover maybe already starting to slowly happen. Dangerfield long. Jerry! He's got it, Jezza! Got a punt!
And that was, the hands in the back was a stabilising hands in the back. It wasn't a shove forward. So we watch here. It's a really good,
It's a super 6 from Jazza. 6-1 for the Coleman leader this afternoon.
It's been a controlled 6. I'm trying to work out the best way to describe his 6 goals today. He's just done it in little patches.
Yeah. So that's a little shove forward. But it's kind of like a, as I say, a stabilising hold with the hands. It's not a hoik pushing you out underneath it. Yeah, well played.
4 Port Adelaide players around him as well.
Gave him a bit of mayo over the top, Jackson Mead.
The Cats got one more left in him. Neil Long has Jezza got one left in him. He goes for it here, off hands. Bowes tried to back out of a jam, couldn't get out the back door.
Round the front out, please. Thank you. Stand. On. Play on.
Lorenz.
They are willing to take seriously risky kicks for very little gain, aren't they?
Henry might get up. Oh, he does! Jump and jack!
That is brilliant.
Well, he was a decathlete high jumper in his junior days. I think he was #1 junior in hurdles in the Nationals. In his junior days, he is an athlete. That was nice. Nice little cherry on top.
He's turned his game into less of that acrobatic aerial stuff, though.
Where's Cameron? Dangerfield crunched. Aaliyah caught.
tackle.
Oh, that's ball.
Jeremy's hanging around. Jones is onto it.
Have a look at this mark again.
Early lead. Bar was about one.
Here's the chip.
Oh, not play on.
Play on. Bowes.
Oh, he's looking for Jeremy.
Who was flung over his head. Holmes. One last exclamation point, maybe.
Nothing came from it. What about that gather from Holmes just then? Stunning. Scotty's handing up. Tell me about the final goal kicker on the way down.
Seconds tick down. Zach Thatcher almost caught with it. The crowd that have packed GMHBA Stadium have absolutely loved the clinic. Thanks for coming to Sunday school down at the Gallery. 23-15, 153 to 9-11, 65. 88 points the final margin. Worse for wear, Brandon Thatcher, so hopefully that's not too bad. You have just tuned into Fox Footy. Jeremy Cameron, 6 goals. Jack Mountain, 4 goals, all in the third quarter. Coming on as the sub, Shannon Neal, 3 goals, all in the third, when it was really the Shannon Neal show in that quarter. Max Holmes, 35 possessions and a couple of goals to go with it. Here's the Zerk Thatcher injury. Stands under this and, oh yeah, poke in the eye from Dangerfield.
Hopefully that's okay. You can see him in the background there. His lip as well, I think, was copped a little cut. Got to give credit to Mullen as well today and his game on Zach Butters too. But kept Zach Butters to 10 disposals, stuck to a task. He had 10 himself, kicked a point. So a big win for the Cats in that role as well. There he is on screen. He was sensational.
Blokes like that loom as formidable weapons in September. You got your star, and look, right in the league right now, we've got some stars. But if you said you can have anyone for one day
for the best football in the midfield, I'd probably take Zach Butters right now. And Asheen Mullins has knocked him over. Imagine having that at your disposal in September. That is a weapon to be utilised at your call against formidable opposition. What a card to have up your sleeve.
You guys mentioned it. He got no help, Zach Butters. Rosie was laid out with illness. All the Cats were helping Asheen Mullen with the bumping and the pushing. And there wasn't a lot of help coming Zach Butters' way.
Yeah, they left him to fight his own battle, didn't they?
You feel that he might consider leaving as well. He's out of contract after another season.
I feel the kind of bloke who would do it for him would be young Ollie Lord. But he's never down there. The ball wasn't in his vicinity enough to actually walk past and put a shoulder block into Asheen Mullins and whisper a sweet nothing into his ear if he put his head over it next time. So he was left to fight his own battles.
I think we're going to head downstairs to our man, Nick Dalsado, who's got one of the big stars of the show alongside him.
Or quite possibly the biggest Dwayno. What an amazing day of football. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Nick Del Santo.
Well played.
We executed the way that we wanted to, and good pressure early. But guys really kicked on, after quarter time.
As a forward, as the skipper, what makes you proud about today's performance? Because there's a lot that went right, but what do you take out of that instantly?
Well, I think it's about how we execute our game plan and how we're adding bricks every week. So we want to be humming and earn the right to play in September and be peaking with, our form. So that's the most important piece, and, today's another step towards that.
You wouldn't have been blamed probably in the last 3 quarters for maybe taking your foot off the gas a little bit, given the scoreboard and the dominance. How do you stay disciplined in those moments to play the way that you did?
Well, because we know there's a bigger thing at large, at stake. And, we're not going to achieve that this week or next week, but we can add things to our game that's going to help us do that. So that's the bigger picture piece, and the macro is keeping everything narrow, playing to, team structure, all the simple sort of stuff, but you've still got to execute it. And I felt like we did that tonight.
There's so much around Jez and wanting to kick 100. We're all cheering for him. There's no hiding the fact. How do you play that piece into it as well? Because it looked like you're looking for him today. You've got a couple of games that you should win and maybe comfortably in the next few weeks. How do you help him get to that number as well while playing that team brand?
Well, it's a fine balance, isn't it? We want him to do it, but it's got to be within our framework. And we want to take good shots at goal. But good shots at goal is also the ball in Jeremy Cameron's hands. So it's a balancing act. But we'll manage that the right way. But it's nice to get stuck in a little bit of the romance of footy sometimes. I think, the simple answer of just do the team thing, well, obviously, but, it's nice to sit in a bit of it sometimes.
Well done. Great game. Patrick Dangerfield, well done today.
Thanks, Nick Dalsano.
All right, folks. Hey, there we go. Big winner from the Cats, 23-15, 153. Port Adelaide, 9-11, 65. The Cats, well, they were pretty close to their biggest winning margin over scoring margin over Port Adelaide. Of course, I think that was 24-19 in that grand final. But there we go. All right. Port Adelaide, they put on 4 goals for in that final term. So not too bad, but the Cats, they continued on their merry way. 6 goals won. 6 goals won. Big victory for the Cats today. And, of course, they were absolutely superb in all aspects of this game. As you see, it was a pretty tight game up until the few-minute mark of the second quarter. And then the Cats just took over. Big margins, 88 points, the final margin down there at GMHBA Stadium. We'll just have a little bit of a look at the leading goal scorers, possession getters, and then we're going to head on over to the other game. Of course, Jeremy Cameron on song to hit 100 goals this year. He kicked 6 goals, 1 from his 8 disposals. Jack Martin was 4 goals straight. Absolutely fantastic straight kicking there from the Catters today. Shannon Neal ended up with 3. Tyson Stengel with 2. Maxie Holmes with 2. Jack Bowles with 2. And, of course, singles to Graham Myers, Oliver Dempsey, Paddy Dangerfield, Brad Close, and of course for Port Adelaide, their big goal scorers, Mitch Georgiades. He topped the table with 3 for them. Ollie Lord with 2. McIntyre, Lorenz, Travis Boak and Joe Berry ended up with a single goal scorers Absolutely fantastic. Great to see. I tell you what, look at that, 38 scoring shots. 38. This is AFL, Australian Rules Football. Demon Slayer, Australian Rules Football. Fantastic game. AFL it's called. There we go. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. Where was I? Just looking at the leading disposal getters out on the ground. Have a look at that. Maxi Holmes did it again for the Cats. 35 disposals, 25 kicks, 10 handballs, 4 clearances. For Port Adelaide, the best was Ollie Wines, of course. Certainly the best out there for the Power today. 32 touches, 11 and 21, 8 clearances. Bailey Smith, he had a great game. No doubt about that. He ended up with 30 also, 8 clearances. Graham Myers with 30, 4 clearances. They were your top 4 players, all in the 30s. Let me just scroll down there. I'll leave that up there. Hey, thanks everyone for coming on in. If you're a there we go. Paddy Dangerfield ended up with 19 touches, so he had a great game. I tell you what, he looked fresh as a daisy, did Paddy Dangerfield. Loving his football out there at the moment. I tell you what, they'll be enjoying the next 3 weeks leading into the finals. I'm sure big wins coming for the Cats so far. There are your player stats. We're going to just jump on down to the song where the boys are going to sing in the room. 67% went for the Cats before we end this coverage and head on over to Carlton Fremantle. Should be a good game. I'll just take you down to the rooms while the boys sing their song.
Some smiles down there. 88 points the final margin. 23-15 to 9-11.
All right, folks, that comes to the end of this coverage today. And, of course, just to let you know who Geelong and Port Adelaide will be playing next week. 3 rounds left of the home and away season for these teams. Of course, Geelong, next Friday night football, they're taking on Essendon at GMHBA Stadium. Should be another good win for the Cats. And, of course, Port Adelaide taking on Fremantle, home game over there at Adelaide Oval. So that's going to be a real interesting game at the moment. Of course, the other game at the moment where the Dockers are playing Carlton, 15 minutes into the second quarter. Carlton 7-1-43, leading the Fremantle Dockers 3-1-19. That's where we're headed next. But, yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming on in. Thanks, Demon Slayer, Rubes, Is White, Addie G, Tine, Paul, Stephen, Albert, everyone that came in the house, Ryan, thanks everyone for popping on in here. Always good to have everyone on board, tuning in on the coverage as we listen to the greatest game on earth. That's AFL football action, Australian Rules Football. You can't beat it. It's fantastic sport. All right, folks, hey, that's it for this one. We're going to end this one and head on over to the other one. As I said, Fremantle taking on Carlton over there at Optus Stadium in Perth. Should be a pretty good game. That's where we're going to head right about now. So I'm going to end this one and we'll see you over the next game.